United States, someone dies of cardiovascular disease every 34 seconds. When we talk about preventing that, most of the discussion usually revolves around diet and exercise. But emerging research, including this new study out of Columbia University's Mailman School of Public Health, finds sleep may be just as important. In fact, earlier this year, the American Heart Association added sleep duration to its cardiovascular health checklist, in addition to things like quitting tobacco and eating better and getting active and managing weight. People who don't get enough sleep do tend to have poor diets. They tend to get less physical activity. They tend to be more stressed and more depressed. So go ahead. It's important to sleep your way to better heart health. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Your healthcare system could be so much stronger. Embrace the power of human understanding from NRC Health, and you'll turn each patient encounter into a connection that builds brand loyalty. You'll decrease healthcare costs because patients trust providers who listen to their needs. And you'll bring back joy to your providers with deeper patient connections. Bottom line, that's the power of human understanding. Go deeper at nrchealth.com.
What's your least favorite season? Now, if you're like me, it's cold and flu season. So get relief from it this year with Mucinex DM. With cough and chest congestion relief for 12 hours in just one dose. That's 3 times longer than 4-hour products. Mucinex DM makes any season comeback season. Even cold season. Get 3 times the relief in just one dose with Mucinex DM. It couldn't be simpler. Nothing lasts longer among over-the-counter cough and cold remedies. Mucinex DM provides 12 hours of relief for chest congestion and cough, day or night. Use as directed.
The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
We're making sure you've got your Halloween candy ready.
All right. Reminder that today is our last day of the week. We will take off tomorrow, so get all your good jokes in today. I'm just tired.
I'm thinking of those, where the things that are wrapped in like orange or black.
Those were awful. Yeah, they're also made in the 40s.
Yeah, they're like Halloween fruitcake.
On your home of the game, guys.
I don't have a headset. I knew I was missing something.
The Early Game, 107.5 Game.
There we go.
Welcome in. Well, getting up and early on a foggy Wednesday morning. Bill Gunter, Jensen, as we get you up and get you out the door, get you going, get you a day closer to Christmas when Santa comes down the chimney, brings all the gifts for the good, keyword there, good little girls and boys. Hopefully you've been that this year. Welcome in this morning. A lot to get to as I feel like Monday and Tuesday, there's been so much news that we really have not been able to. It's just been, we're like a ping pong ball. We're here, there, we're everywhere. We're all over the map. Just transfers and bowl games and college football playoff. And it's just thing after thing after thing after thing. And so hopefully today we can settle down, kind of revisit several of these things, maybe take a little bit more in-depth look at some of the things going on. South Carolina, Notre Dame, don't feel like we've really been able to get completely into that game because it's just been one thing after the other. You barely get into the bowl game, and it's quick attention turning to the offensive coordinator search, or then it's turning very quickly to the transfer portal and who's in and who's not in and things of that nature. So hopefully today we will have a little bit more time to kind of sit down and just go over and discuss some of these different things. Yes, and other South Carolina players in the transfer portal. We'll tell you about that this morning. We'll kind of keep you updated on some other players that are in the transfer portal that maybe South Carolina is looking at. So there's a lot, again, to get to this morning. But also, again, want to get into a little bit more about the actual bowl game and your thoughts on the actual matchup. Jeff on our live stream, given the name, I don't think that's his actual name, but on our live stream where you can go and join us, he says it's so cool to play Notre Dame. Yeah, we really honestly haven't had the great chance to get into that actual matchup. And I'll tell you, I'll go into a little bit in depth this morning why I actually think it's a good matchup for South Carolina. I'm probably going to go the opposite way of many of y'all here, as I actually think that this is in terms of how the teams want to play, what South Carolina did the final 2 weeks of the season, I actually kind of think this might be a good matchup for South Carolina. It might be one that, given how they chose to play defense, that, might not be a bad matchup. Might actually play into their hands. We'll talk about that. I'll explain that a little bit this morning. Again, we will actually get into a little bit of the transfer portal. Brad Crawford set to join us here in about 24 minutes, 6:30 this morning. He always does the bright and early stuff, so he will get up and join us here at 6:30, and we will catch up with him on a variety of different topics. We might even try to get him in a little bit earlier this morning because he did a great job covering the bowl situation, and he did a really good job keeping up with the Jaheim Bell transfer portal news. So he'll be able to kind of take care of two different things this morning, and might actually try and get to him just a little bit earlier so that we can get a little more time with him. So if you want to be a part of the program this morning, 803-404-6100. That's how you can be a part of the program via the Firehouse Subs text line or the Love Chevy phone lines. As always, you can go and hit us up on our live stream. Go to youtube.com. Search 1075 The Game, click join, subscribe, be a part of the program. You can weigh in there. Again, several people already up and at it with us this morning, weighing in. Someone letting us know, yes, we need to update the Halloween intro. Yeah, I don't handle that. I just stare at the others that do, and sometimes
I put in a request, but we'll see if we can't get that out.
There we go. The powers that be have put in a request to see if we can update the Halloween intro. So
we just want to make sure people are listening. That's really the goal.
It is. We test to see exactly what exactly people are hearing, and if they're just paying attention or just kind of using us to go back to sleep. I feel like it's the latter, though. Like you wake up, you're like, oh, a little insomnia. Let's put on something that'll put me right back to sleep. Where's Gunter
pretty
at?
Much.
There you go. So we've got that going for us this morning. Again, if you want to be a part of the program, you can do so. Anything, again, it's been a crazy first 6 hours to the week. Bowls coming off of the weekend, championship games, the Kansas State TCU game. Hadn't really talked much about that. Then we jumped right into the transfer portal stuff yesterday, and that ate up a lot of the show. So we will get into maybe try and settle down a little bit today for the next 3 hours. Programming note, again, this will be Jen and I's last day of this week. We will be back. Just we're going to take Thursday and Friday off. And then we'll come back Monday. And on Monday at 7:15, Jamie Bradford will be with us. But at 7:15 on Monday morning, we'll be joined by Grayson Pup Howard, the linebacker recruit out of Jacksonville, who is one of the top commitments for South Carolina in this upcoming class. Being that he's from Jacksonville, we'll get his thoughts on Jacksonville, on the area, where you should go, where you should stay, where you should eat. We'll also get his thoughts on the South Carolina football program and what he thinks. So that is coming up. That's kind of a little programming for the next 2 days. No show Thursday and Friday. We'll be back on Monday. And when we come back on Monday, we'll be back on our regular schedule for a few days and start getting you really ready for the bowl game, which I'll talk about this morning. 803-404-6100 is how you can join us. Like I said, we're trying to move a little bit quicker here in the early part so we can get to Brad Crawford and have more time with him. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on the next Extra Point.
Do you want to hear the last couple of names that have popped up on the text line here?
Bring them.
Mike Shanahan, Jeff Scott, Joe Brady, Dan Mullen, and Kevin Sumlin. Those are the last 6 names that we've got.
Those are very interesting. Firehouse Subs text line.
Yep.
Well, we can go ahead and eliminate Jeff Scott off top. That's not happening.
I agree.
Can all of those names be pretty comfortably eliminated?
Kevin Sumlin, I remember hearing at some point that he didn't know. No, I'm not saying Kevin Sumlin.
The Extra Point with Pearson, Preston, and Gamecock Central. 9 a.m. to noon on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Well, we're halfway through the week, and you're probably thinking about a big Christmas party. Maybe you want to have it at your house, and then you start to get a little stressed out because you think about having all those people at your house. you got to do the cleaning afterwards. You got to clean up after all those people have come and tracked in the mud and the dirt. And, of course, it was a little rainy last night. And that's where it stresses you out. Don't let it stress you out this time of year. Use the cleaning pros at Zero Res to keep your house looking beautiful. No one can clean like Zero Res because only Zero Res cleans with their patented electrolyzed water. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals. Keeps the family, the pets, everybody perfectly safe. Keeps the carpet looking nice and fluffy, and it'll stay cleaner for longer. Give Zero Res a call today, 803-262-4020, and go ahead and schedule that cleaning. Take advantage of the sale going on right now. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $119 when you mention me, Bill Gunter, at 107.5 The Game. You'll get a hallway cleaned for free. Again, that deal right now, 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $119. And when you mention me, Bill Gunter, at 107.5 The Game, you'll get a hallway cleaned for free. So don't hesitate. Give him a phone call, 803-262-4020, or you can schedule with ease online. That's ZeroResColumbia.com. Let me repeat this deal going on right now. You want to take advantage. 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $119. And when you mention me, Bill Gunter, at 107.5 The Game, you get a hallway cleaned for free. So don't wait. 803-262-4020, or schedule with ease online, ZeroResColumbia.com. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. ShepherdsGlass.com.
Definitely foggy out there this morning. We don't really have too many accidents to report at this time, and we do hope it stays that way. But there is a car versus deer incident, Sid Bickley Road at Highway 76. That fog will eventually be clearing out. It's going to be a warmer day today. 72 for the high, 71 tomorrow. Could see some showers returning on Friday, dagnabbit. And it's going to be a high of 65. Right now, though, it is foggy, so do be careful. Low beams is the rule. 55 and not too bad at 107.5 The Game.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. This sounds like team turmoil, if you ask me. The Tennessee Titans yesterday stunned the NFL by firing general manager John Robinson. The team's roster and depth had been eroding, and the Titans were walloped in September by Buffalo and last Sunday by Philadelphia. That's important. Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown torched Tennessee after being traded in a draft day deal that blindsided and infuriated Coach Mike Vrabel. I guess he won the internal struggle. Boomer Esiason.
Craftsman Days at Lowe's are going on now. Get limited time savings across the store like $100 off a V20 6-tool combo kit. Plus, enter the Craftsman Days Ultimate Garage Sweepstakes for a chance to win Craftsman products valued at over $10,000. Learn more at Lowe's.com/Ultimate Garage. Offer valid through 12/31 while supplies last. No purchase necessary. Ends 12/31. Residents of 50 USDC, 18 or older, and age of majority, and have a Lowe's.com account. Void where prohibited. See rules at Lowe's.com/Ultimate Garage for entry instructions, odd prices, etc. Sponsor Lowe's.
Buying a home? Rocket Mortgage will cover 1% of your rate for the first year at no cost to you with Inflation Buster. That's more road trips, more front row seats. Plus, if rates drop within 3 years of your home purchase, you get exclusive savings when you refinance with Rate Drop Advantage. Save when you buy today and refinance tomorrow. Call 833-7-ROCKET today or visit inflationbuster.com to start saving.
For fees, covered rate, like date requirements, and other terms and conditions, visit inflationbuster.com. Call 1-833-7-ROCKET. Equalizing under license in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Sponsored by South Carolina Education Lottery. The Powerball jackpot for Wednesday is $100 million. Be sure to stop by your local South Carolina Education Lottery retailer and get your ticket today. See SCEducationLottery.com for jackpot odds in a store near you.
Plus tax entitled with approved credit. Call 888-411-7640 for details.
This holiday season, buy any new Ram or Dodge at Dodgeland and pay off your credit cards up to $10,000. That's right. Buy any new Ram or Dodge and pay off your credit cards up to $10,000. Savings? How about $10,000 off a brand new Ram? Credit concerns? It's Christmas. JT is saying yes. Rush to Dodgeland on Greystone. JT'sDodge.com. Big Finish sales event.
Travis Bedson, owner of CNT Foundations.
The economy is floundering. Retirement accounts are plummeting. And if your home has a foundation problem, you might be putting off the repair. That's a bad idea. That is why CNT Foundations is now offering up to 2 years, same as cash, for qualified homeowners. That's right. Repair your home now and pay nothing for 2 years.
Call 803-805-8044. CNT Foundations. Your Foundation experts.
And paid for by OpenShar Concepts. Attention firefighters, members of the military, and airport workers. For decades, first responders and firefighters at military bases and airports used a chemical-based foam to fight fires. Studies have shown that chemicals used to make aqueous film-forming foam, or AFFF, are highly toxic to humans and have been associated with several types of cancer. If you or someone you know was exposed to AFFF and were diagnosed with any of these cancers, including kidney, bladder, prostate, pancreatic, lymphoma, leukemia, testicular, and neuroendocrine, then you should call us immediately because you may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Call us at 800-598-2973. Our experienced attorneys will fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless we get a recovery in your favor. Time is limited to file a claim, so call us now. 800-598-2973. Operators are standing by 24/7. So don't wait. 800-598-2973. That's 800-598-2973. Again, 800-598-2973.
SC Department of Corrections is hiring food service specialists with a $7,500 sign-on bonus. Start a new career with great employee benefits today. Visit joinscdc.com for info. Sponsored by SC Department of Corrections, SCBA, and this station.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The Early Game
with Bill Gunter and Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
.617 on a Wednesday morning. Bill Gunter, Jensen. There was plenty of college football news. I don't know if any of it was, massive news yesterday, but there was college football news. Let's get you a little rundown. Things that caught my attention. The transfer portal, and we'll talk more about it coming up in the next segment with Brad Crawford of 24/7 Sports this morning. And obviously we will talk a little bit more about what happened with Jaheim Bell and where South Carolina stands. There is a player that we kind of talk about with South Carolina that has not entered the transfer portal. I guess because, I don't know, I expect him to jump in right away. But I will bring that up, a player that we thought might be transferring that at least appears to be sticking around to see what the new offensive coordinator, who that may be, or at least maybe they'll show up today in the transfer portal. This thing is so weird. But let me give you an example. Yesterday, JT Daniels enters the transfer portal again. And look, I'm all for players having the ability to transfer. I really am. I've said it for a while. I think you should get one free transfer. Things happen. Things happen, right? I've covered recruiting. I don't want to say kids get lied to and tricked, but there is an element of that where a kid goes to a campus and the coach that recruited them maybe all of a sudden not quite as nice, not very friendly, if you will. All of a sudden, maybe the system that the kid was recruited to, the player was recruited to, turns out to be, well, not quite the system that he is now playing in. And then, of course, obviously, there's the element of a coach leaving or being fired, something of that matter. So I don't mind a player being able to transfer one time without penalty. One time, right? JT Daniels yesterday, the former Southern Cal quarterback, the former Georgia quarterback, and now the former West Virginia quarterback. JT Daniels is transferring for a fourth time in his career. Again, he has played at Southern Cal. He has played at Georgia. He has played at West Virginia. And he will find himself a fourth school. I mean, look, Eric Stevenson did this in basketball. I can't even keep track. Stevenson was like Wichita State, Washington, South Carolina, and West Virginia. Maybe it's something about West Virginia. Or maybe Stevenson explained his college philosophy of bouncing around to JT Daniels, and JT Daniels thought, seems like a good idea. I should spend a fourth year playing somewhere else. Daniels, this is just crazy, has started in his career 3 schools, right? Daniels has started 29 games. He was actually 7-0 during his 2 years at Georgia as a starter. Never lost a game. Obviously lost a starting position, but never lost a game as a starter for Georgia. And he's 17-12 overall as a starter. He started playing college football in 2018. You're hearing this correctly. he's going to have a 6th year of eligibility next year. This is the insane thing about, and you do have it. I was listening to Pearson Fowler a little bit when I left yesterday. You do have an anomaly here in the fact that a lot of players are using that COVID year, that free football year, to get this 6th year of eligibility. And then you've had maybe a COVID year and a redshirt year in which you only played in 4 games, or maybe you only played in 3, or you didn't play at all. So you are having this element of guys having that complete extra year. And I guess you can use the graduate transfer portal, totally different maybe, as many times as possible. But JT Daniels is transferring again. And that just, to me, blows my mind that a player can play at 4 different colleges, which is what JT Daniels will do. No word yet on where he will end up. I kind of speculated. He's already been at Southern Cal, which is not necessarily the Northwest. He's been at Georgia in the South. I think we deemed West Virginia and Pittsburgh, because Keaton Slovis is another one who is transferring again, another former Southern Cal quarterback. But I would assume that Pittsburgh would kind of be, Jen, are we going north or northeast? Is West Virginia north?
Seems to be popular, doesn't it?
Yeah, is it kind of northeastish? Like, can that quantify as north? Can Southern Cal quantify as, it's not southwest, but I'm trying to say all 4 corners of the country here.
Yeah, I don't know, because to me, West Virginia is sort of
Yeah.
Mid-East.
Well, at this point, just for the sake of telling the story and moving it along a little bit, I'll say that West Virginia was the Northeast, and that
There you
Southern
go.
Cal, even though geographic wise, that's probably not correct, but Southern Cal was the Southwest, and now he needs to go play at Oregon or Oregon State or Washington State. Get up into the Northwest a little bit. Sure, we'll throw, at this point, may as well just throw Boise State in there and claim they're in the Northwest as well. So JT Daniels transferring a 4th time. That was a little bit of news yesterday. Also, a guy that people are keeping a slight eye on, Garrett Riley. I don't know if Garrett Riley is a legitimate candidate for the South Carolina offensive coordinator position. I tend to think that one's probably much like Dan Mullen yesterday. Dan Mullen, at least on a Sirius XM interview, saying that he will not be the next offensive coordinator, backing up some reports by both Chris Clark and Hal McGranahan and J.C. Sherbert of thebigspur.com. But Dan Mullen on a Sirius XM radio program yesterday stating he will not be the next offensive coordinator at South Carolina. He did say that he expects South Carolina to hire a good offensive coordinator, but it will not be him. Garrett Riley, another guy that's being mentioned in that position, yesterday winning the Broyles Award as the top assistant football coach in the nation. Riley, obviously, having coached Max Duggan, coordinated the top offense in the Big 12. I'm sure you've paid attention this week. The Horned Frogs will be in the college football playoff. They did lead the nation with 19 plays of 50 yards or longer, and they had 10 plays this year of at least 60 yards. So just something to keep an eye on there. Garrett Riley, again, being mentioned for the South Carolina offensive coordinator job. I don't really know why he would leave TCU to come to South Carolina. I'm sure a boatload of money could change his opinion, but he's got a very good position there. He's in good shape there. So that's the news. One other thing to get to, just because it's SEC related, seems like a lot of turmoil out at Arkansas. You've had some players jumping in the transfer portal there. Obviously, Kendall Briles, another guy that has been mentioned prominently with the South Carolina offensive coordinator job. Well, yesterday, Arkansas loses defensive coordinator Barry Odom. He will become the new coach at UNLV. I know Heath Klein has been very adamant that he's surprised UNLV has never been really better. He says they got a lot of resources. I've never gone and looked at UNLV's campus and their facilities. I have no clue what they look like. But I know Heath Klein's been kind of adamant that UNLV really, for a mid-major G5 program, should be a lot better. Obviously, they could recruit LA. You could find some, you could recruit the state of California and kind of go into Texas a little bit as well. You're probably not recruiting the high-end 4-star prospects, but you can find some guys under the radar that could make that program a lot better. And I know Heath, again, has been kind of adamant that he's surprised UNLV's never had a better G5 or mid-major football program. But Barry Odom, one-time Missouri head coach and was the Arkansas defensive coordinator, will now take over from Marcus Arroyo out at UNLV. He was fired after 3 seasons and a 7-23 record. So a couple just little news and notes there from the college football world. We'll get into South Carolina's news and notes, both how the bowl game kind of went down. We'll talk with Brad Crawford about that and his thoughts on what he has seen from the transfer portal. Not just South Carolina, Jaheim Bell, obviously, but what he's seen overall. A lot to talk with him this morning about. You're listening to Bill Gunter, Jen Jensen, and coming up next, Brad Crawford of 24/7 Sports. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Our 15th anniversary celebration on 107.5 The Game
is sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, getting you better sooner.
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game and the new 107.5 The Game app. 107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
We have a report of an accident, I-77 southbound at Bluff Road. Also, Glen Road at Old Wire Road. Highway 6 at Highway 302. And car versus deer incident up near Chapin, Sid Bickley Road at Highway 76. Forecast for today, the fog should be burning off at some point. Left with a high of 72, 71 for Thursday, and could see some showers coming back on Friday with a high of 65. But right now, it is foggy for sure, 55 at 107.5 The Game.
Here's attorney Eric Moan for the Hood Team.
You don't want to deal with one of these companies that is not based here in the Midlands. They don't really know the place, streets, sidewalks, areas, school districts. The Hood Team, they've been here for a long time. There's no question you can ask them that they don't know the answer to.
I'm Danny Hood.
And I'm Karen Hood.
And I'm William DiMaggio.
We're the Hood Team at Coldwell Banker Realty.
Give us a call.
At 803-730-2512.
Or online at thehoodteam.com.
Plus tax and title with approved credit. Call 866-243-4623 for details.
This holiday season, buy any new Jeep, Ram, or Dodge at JT's Jeep Ram and pay off your credit cards up to $10,000. That's right. Buy any new Jeep, Ram, or Dodge at JT's Jeep Ram and pay off your credit cards up to $10,000. Savings? How about $10,000 off a brand new Ram? Credit concerns? It's Christmas. JT is saying yes. Rush to JT's Jeep Dodge Ram, 378 Lexington, jtsjeepram.com. Big Finish sales event.
I'm Bridget Condon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Baker will now get to cook under the Southern California sun. The Rams claimed former first overall pick Baker Mayfield off waivers Tuesday after the quarterback was let go by the Panthers on Monday. The Rams were in need of quarterback depth with Matthew Stafford likely out for the rest of the season. The 49ers did not put in a waiver claim for Mayfield, and this could be why. Jimmy Garoppolo will not need surgery on his injured foot after all, according to NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero. And the quarterback now has a chance to possibly return to the field if the Niners make a deep playoff run. And a stunner in Nashville. Despite being in first place in the AFC South, the Titans fired general manager John Robinson on Tuesday. In a statement, team owner Amy Adams-Strunk said, while she was happy with the team's progress, quote, I believe there is more to be done and higher aspirations to be met. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Unlimited talk, text, and data for as low as $10 a month. Red Pocket Mobile saves their customers an average of $600 a year. How? With no mandatory bundles or wasted money on celebrity endorsements. Keep your same number and phone, cell network, and lightning fast 5G coverage. You don't even have to leave the house to switch. Simply go to redpocket.com. Right now, during their extended Black Friday sale, ditch your old carrier and get a new iPhone on Red Pocket. Go to redpocket.com. That's redpocket.com. Conditions apply.
It's time to gear up for the holiday season. Head over to NFLshop.com today for the largest collection of officially licensed gear from all your favorite brands. NFL Shop is your ultimate gifting destination for jerseys, t-shirts, headwear, and more. Take your game day style to the next level with the best selection of NFL gear anywhere. Show off your team pride this holiday season with styles fit for the whole family. To shop now, go to NFLshop.com.
Ho, 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 ho! No! The reindeer are pooped and I'm stranded. All the little girls and boys are waiting on their toys.
Chill, Santa. We'll call Schroeder's Towing. When you need a tow fast, call Schroeder's Towing 24/7, and they'll take you and your car home. Schroeder's Towing will haul anything you got to anywhere you want. Heavy equipment, coaches, buses, forklifts, even a sleigh full of toys. 772-7930. SchroedersTowing.com.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
The Masked Singer season isn't over yet.
Happy holidays, y'all!
Fox tonight. It's a very merry masked Christmas.
What a celebration!
Sing along with your favorite superstars.
William Shatner!
As they perform the greatest holiday classics.
My children are huge!
So,
cozy on up.
It's a love fest. The Masked Singer Christmas Sing-Along.
The fun starts tonight at 8 on Watch Fox 57. Then, Watch Fox News Local First is committed to covering stories that affect your community. When news breaks, we're live on the scene, bringing you only the facts. We're committed to reporting all sides of the story so you can stay informed. Trust our weather team to keep you ahead of the storm. Get weather updates that can protect you and your family from danger. Being local first is more than a statement. It's a promise to our viewers and community. Watch Fox News. Local first.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Eight 803-404-6100. Coming up in just a second, Brad Crawford will join us, and we will catch up with him on, again, several different topics as there are. It's an interesting time, and I think this is going to become, at least for a while, the new norm of college football, where the Monday after, so I don't know, selection. I don't want to call it Selection Sunday. That's reserved for college basketball. But the Monday after the college football playoff is announced will be reserved for transfer portal news. Like, you'll just basically, it'll almost be kind of like the new signing day, more so the signing day. All right, who's in the portal? Everybody take the day off. 24-hour-a-day coverage from ESPN. One big show on ESPN News just covering it, and you'll have the little dinger that goes off. Dun, 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 dun. And we've now got so-and-so in the portal. It's going to be crazy. And joining me now to talk about that, Brad, you like that little noise I did? I could, I guess, do noises for our radio station. But, I mean, it's crazy what happened on Monday with the transfer portal, right?
We were talking last week, man, that SEC championship game would pretty much represent the end of college football season for us as, reporters doing this 7 days a week, 18 hours a day. And instead, December calendar has just changed into, man, the season part 2. I mean, college football coaches right now, with early signing period coming up, transfer portal, NIL stuff to comb through, they don't even have time for bowl prep yet. So it's going to be very interesting to see over the next few years, man, if this transfer portal opening gets pushed back to maybe January after bowl season, which the few coaches that I've spoken to in the last week or so, they would love a different transfer portal time.
Okay. What then? What, February? Like, because I do understand December because it gives you time to either recruit and fill that spot, or to recruit the transfer portal and recruit it against kids that you might be considering for high school. And it should be, again, I pointed this out, Brad, and you can kind of reiterate this. There's no limit on how many kids you can take now. There's, it used to be the 25-man hard cap that you could recruit to, but now the only number you're paying attention to is your 85-man scholarship roster. So when Deion Sanders basically shows up at Colorado and tells all the players, hey, you should go in the transfer portal, it's because he might be thinking about bringing in 85 brand new players, or 84 and his son to make 85.
Yeah, he's right about that. And we're going to see bowl games later this month with teams with just shells of their roster, not really looking like the teams that we saw play the last 12 weeks this season. And I just think that if we maybe move the transfer portal opening time to a week span instead of a 5-week span, or pushed it maybe right before the early signing period, that would at least give coaches some time to sort of make a list of guys they need, positions of need. And you've got some staffs, man, where they're having to hire coordinators right now and having to push outgoing assistant coaches elsewhere. So it's a very busy month of the season for college football coaches, having just finished a 3-month grind of the regular season.
All right, give me real quick your biggest surprise, your biggest transfer surprise within the first. I mean, it's crazy that this has transpired, and we sit here at 6:35 on Wednesday morning. I feel like it's Friday. We've had so much news come out with the transfer portal, but it's only been really 48 hours. Give me the biggest transfer surprise you've seen so far.
The biggest transfer surprise for me is Devin Leary from NC State, the star quarterback for the Wolfpack. He wasn't going to lose his starting job by any means to MJ Morris, but I think Devin Leary is taking the NIL approach. There's a lot of big-name elite programs who need a proven quarterback. Leary's thrown 65 touchdown passes, and a lot of us thought, he was going to maybe an early round pick in the 2023 NFL draft. So for him to enter the portal, that's huge. I think South Carolina's Jaheim Bell, not a lot of folks saw that coming. Based on who I've spoken with, Bell informed the coaching staff at South Carolina that he was returning for 2023 as recently as last week, and obviously stuff has changed there in the final hour. So those are two top 5 transfers right now who I think are going to get enhanced NIL deals elsewhere and will be stars in college football next year, but it won't happen at NC State or South Carolina.
All right, let's transition to this Jaheim Bell thing, because what you mentioned is I had heard the same thing, that Jaheim Bell had basically relayed to the staff, to Shane Beamer, that he felt more comfortable with the program. With Marcus Satterfield not being there, he was interested in seeing who the offensive coordinator would be and how his role would be on the team. He was content with everything. Yesterday, Monday morning, he was promoting his line of T-shirts for the bowl game. He was talking trash to Tennessee and Clemson fans on Sunday. And I you didn't hear this. I was telling this story yesterday that I tried to go to bed early on Monday night. So I went to bed about 9:15, just happened to wake up, kind of roll over, look at my phone at 10:15, and lo and behold, here's the news. What can you share with us that you found out about Jaheim Bell's decision?
Yeah, there are several programs, and not saying South Carolina is not one of the leaders in NIL, but it's not rocket science to know a program like Nebraska has an estimated $12 to $15 million at their disposal in NIL, when South Carolina's estimated number is around $2 or $3 million, and Alabama is one of those top programs. Georgia is one of those top programs. Florida State's a top program in NIL. Those are some of the schools too who are going to be in the mix for Jaheim Bell, and to me, it's not even a Jaheim Bell issue. I think it's a win-win right now, for high-profile players like Jaheim, like Devin Leary's, like some of these other guys to jump in the portal and test the market and see what their value is. I mean, Jaheim Bell is still eligible to return to South Carolina for next season. I think most of the coaching staff would, take him back with open arms, given his just skill set, abilities, and potential output. But it's a wonderful time right now, man, to be a better than average college football player. And if you're a quarterback or a skill player or an edge rusher, why not make as much money as you can at the college level before you go into the NFL draft? And I think that's what people in Jaheim Bell's camp was telling him. I think there are some people maybe there that might not be giving him the best advice, but if I'm Jaheim Bell right now, I would have probably done just what he did: get in the portal, see what's out there for me, and if I don't like the offers, or if South Carolina is willing to match whatever I'm given, then maybe I come back to school.
Real quick, the way you kind of phrase that seems that the door is open on his part. I think yesterday you reported that his name was officially in the portal. Is there a chance, you think, or is that ship pretty obviously what you just said is right? South Carolina would definitely take him back. But in Jaheim Bell's mind, is this him out there looking at other NIL deals, or is he genuinely, you think, moving on to another program?
Yeah, I think Jaheim is not going to play for South Carolina anymore. I think he's going to be a starter elsewhere. And Georgia, Florida State, and Ole Miss are the 3 teams right now that I would expect him to be heavy in the mix for.
Let's transition to the next thing for South Carolina, and a guy that's in the transfer portal that impacts the game for Notre Dame. Drew Pine heads to the transfer portal, and what does that do for your take on this game? You got Jaheim Bell and Drew Pine, 2 big parts of the season for South Carolina, for Notre Dame. Actually, who's the bigger loss in your opinion?
Yeah, I think Jaheim Bell is probably the bigger loss for South Carolina, depending on Marshawn Lloyd's health and whether he can go in that bowl game. You know, we might see a situation where I know Spencer Rattler has said he's going to play in the bowl game. Let's say he doesn't play. What if Takarion Joyner starts the second straight bowl game at quarterback? I mean, really anything can happen in these postseason games with all these roster moves that I've mentioned. Drew Pine started the last 9 games at quarterback for Notre Dame. Tyler Buckner was actually the Irish's starter coming into the year, but lost to Ohio State and then lost to Marshall, and Drew Pine was the guy. But I don't think it changes the offense whatsoever for Notre Dame. I think Buckner's a guy that they're pretty confident with going into 2023. Not sure he'll be the starter because I know Notre Dame's going to be a major player in the portal, going hunting for one of these big name quarterbacks. But I expect a very competitive Gator Bowl between two teams that really want to try and win their 9th game and guarantee a top 20 finish in the Final AP poll.
You did a great job. Brad Crawford, by the way, joining us of 24/7 Sports, and Brad did an incredible job of kind of keeping Gamecock fans updated on the bowl situation and where they were going. Did it on 24/7 Sports, did it on thebigspur.com. And Brad, just kind of walk us back through that process. Ray Tanner seemed to really go out of his way to get South Carolina into the bowl game, the Gator Bowl, that the fans wanted. And then it sounds like the Gator Bowl themselves did a really good job of getting the opponent that they wanted for South Carolina, fending off the Holiday Bowl to bring Notre Dame to Jacksonville.
Yeah, once South Carolina beat Tennessee in the second to last week of the season, I was told by several sources in Jacksonville that the Gator Bowl's dream matchup was going to be South Carolina-Notre Dame. And they expected South Carolina to, I guess you could say, fall easier into their lap at, 7-5 because they weren't expecting a win over Clemson. So after the Gamecocks beat Clemson to finish 8-4, then there was some Citrus Bowl buzz and whether or not Orlando would take, a 4-loss expected LSU team or the Gamecocks. But I was told that Sunday when, those bowl pairings were being announced, it was a fight between the Holiday Bowl and Gator Bowl for Notre Dame. And had Notre Dame gone to the Holiday Bowl instead of North Carolina, that would have sent South Carolina from Jacksonville down to Tampa in the Real High Quest Bowl. So there was a lot of lobbying, man, back and forth. I know Ray Tanner pretty much for a 5 or 6 day stretch at the end of November lobbied for, the Gamecocks to play in Jacksonville, first time since '87. So that's a very exciting game coming up for not only Gamecock fans, but Notre Dame as well.
Before we let you out, let's get your quick take. What are you hearing? What can you share with us on the offensive coordinator situation? A lot of people kind of wanting to hear your take on that. Both, I'll get 2 sides to this. One, how you think Shane Beamer will handle this, what you're kind of hearing in terms of play calling, group effort, one person stepping up, and then also what you're hearing on him trying to hire an offensive coordinator. Yesterday, Dan Mullen coming out on Sirius XM and saying that he would not be taking the job or that they would hire a good candidate, but it would not be him. Garrett Riley's name has been thrown out, Kendall Briles, Graham Harrell. What can you share on what you think they do offensively for the bowl game and also where you think Shane Beamer goes with this particular hire?
Yeah, just kind of a wide brushstroke on this, and I'll go with your second question first. The 2 names that keep popping up are Garrett Riley, the TCU Broyles Award winner, offensive coordinator. I think he's still going to be in the mix. And then Phil Longo is a name the last couple of days who I've been told is very much in consideration. UNC's offensive coordinator who has, produced Sam Howell and now Drake May as 2 top-end quarterbacks. I think Shane Beamer wants to throw the ball next season, and especially with the expectation that Spencer Rattler's returning. And Shane knows that a OC hire needs to be made soon. He's got some personnel on offense that wants to know what is the offense going to look like. I've had several players, maybe commits or recruits text me recently and ask, what situation going on in South Carolina. And the fact of the matter is, it takes time to hire an OC. We're only a week done from the season, so that's big there. And Dan Mullen was in the mix, by the way. I know there was some speculation reports, but Shane Beamer would have certainly hired Dan Mullen, in my opinion, had Mullen been maybe more interested in the job. So I think if one of the 2 hires is Garrett Riley or Phil Longo or maybe even a Graham Harrell, one of those 3 guys would be an excellent fit. And then getting to the bowl game, I think it will be a by committee approach. Shane said last week, I think it was, that maybe he might even call the plays. But we saw in last season's bowl game that the Gamecocks kind of played with, caution to the wind and played pretty well against UNC and scored in the 30s. And that's what happened these last 2 weeks of the season. Gamecocks have played with a whole lot of confidence, and I think you'll see a similar offensive approach down in Jacksonville.
He is Brad Crawford, does a great job. Follow him on Twitter at bcrawford247. Appreciate you getting up early this morning. I know we'll catch up with you one more time before the game down in Jacksonville, but a lot of good information there, and appreciate all the hard work you've done the last few weeks, keeping people updated both on the bowl game, which was wild to follow, and then also now the transfer portal. Brad, try not to get confused and you get lost in the transfer portal. It's easy to slip and fall. The next thing you know, you end up somewhere completely else.
Hey, man, good to hear from you.
Take care. Brad Crawford of 24/7 Sports does a fantastic job over there covering it. A lot of great information there from him. If you want to weigh in this morning, several of you doing that. We will get to a bunch of those text messages on the Firehouse Subs text line. If you want to weigh in, you can also do so on the Love Chevy phone lines as well. 803-404-6100. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
The OGs of 107.5 The Game.
Jay Phillips, Heath Line, and Tommy Moody.
Sharing their memories of 107.5 The Game and celebrating our 15th anniversary.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
Just download the 107.5 The Game app or go to 1075thegame.com to check out the podcast.
On your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game and the new 107.5 The Game app.
Going out and purchasing a brand new car, truck, or SUV, it should be an awesome experience. It's something that should put a smile on your face, should make you excited to go to the dealership. You're essentially adding a member of the family. You've heard me talk about this. That car, truck, SUV, it's going to take you on vacations. It's going to be there for, say, like first dates or for taking the kids to soccer and cheer and dance and football or whatever. All that car is going to do is make memories for you. So when you go purchase a car, truck, or SUV, it should be a great experience because, again, you're adding a member of the family. And at Love Chevrolet, they understand that. That's why they've been in business for over 60 years, taking care of families just like mine, just like yours, right here in the Midlands, making you comfortable with that purchase, not selling above MSRP, giving you the proper deal, giving you the largest selection of vehicles from which to choose with when you go out and visit a car or truck or SUV. You want to pick the one that fits your needs. It's an important purchase in your life, and the folks that Love Chevrolet make sure you're comfortable with that purchase. So go visit those great salesmen and women over there at Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison, between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. You can visit them on the web, and you can even type with, a seasoned professional right over the internet. So go visit Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison, between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, or on the web, lovechevy.com. Get out to Love Chevrolet and find new road.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
I-77 southbound and Bluff Road, we do have an accident there. Report of a disabled vehicle, Del Rey Street at Ermine Road. Car versus Deer, East Steel Road at Flat Springs Road. You'll also find one Sid Bickley Road at Highway 76. An accident found Glen Road at Old Wire Road and Highway 6 at Highway 302. The fog will be burning off, then it's going to be 72 today, 71 tomorrow. Drops to 65 on Friday with a few more showers rolling in. But we do have some kind of heavy fog out there, 55 at 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
The cleaning pros at Seaworth Carpet Air Duct Cleaning will make sure your carpet stays clean this holiday season. Right now, the 3 rooms carpet clean for only $119 plus. When you mention me, Bill Gunter at 107.5 The Game, you can get a hallway clean for free. Easily schedule your cleaning online at ZeroSColumbia.com.
Life moves until back, neck, or shoulder pain hits and brings you to a stop. That's why there's the Joint Chiropractic, an easy and affordable way to relieve pain and help keep you moving. At the Joint, there's no appointment or insurance hassles, and we're open evenings and weekends. Visit today to keep your life moving with our $29 new patient special, including an exam, consultation, and chiropractic adjustment. Visit thejoint.com. That's thejoint.com to find a clinic near you.
Susan, I'm sorry, traffic is terrible. It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently. Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. You say you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app? Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas. Does this actually add up to anything? I made around $200. Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now. Download the free Upside app.
Yes, I'm ready for a little short minimum vacation. Minimal.
This holiday season, buy any new Ram or Dodge at Dodgeland and pay off your credit cards up to $10,000. That's right, buy any new Ram or Dodge and pay off your credit cards up to $10,000. Savings? How about $10,000 off a brand new Ram? Credit concerns? It's Christmas. JT is saying yes. Rush to Dodgeland on Greystone. JT'sDodge.com. Big finish sales event.
Raymond Yards here for eBay Motors. So you're teaching your kid to parallel park. He likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers and headlights. 122 million cars. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
This update is sponsored by AAA Heating and Air, home of the $1,500 buyback. AAA is now offering a free ductwork check to make sure your lines are sealed tight and your duct system is performing its best. Call today to get a new unit tomorrow. 803-677-1500.
AAA, and when you need us, AAA Heating and Air.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game. Stop by, shop online today, and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
With Bill Gunter and Jensen, your home of the Gamecocks.
The early game, 1075
The Game.
Eight 803-404-6100, how you can be a part of the program this morning if you want to do so. And several of you are doing that. You're doing so via the Firehouse Subs text line. Let's get to a couple of these here this morning. Ron asking, and I didn't see this question, Ron, I apologize. He says he wanted me to ask Brad about Austin Stogner back to Oklahoma. He says, just seems weird to me, but I guess that's college. That is the college football world we live in now. Yeah, I mean, think about that. Hunter Johnson, did that? Transferred to Northwestern. Out of Clemson, and then actually transferred back to Clemson last year and was on the roster. Stogner just wants to be closer to home. Two things in talking with people is that the injury that Stogner suffered. The injury Stogner suffered. Say that. Add that.
I would say that there's a little bit of a potential for tongue twister there.
Add that one to the list of things I need to say in the morning to warm up my voice on the way in. The injury Stogner suffered. That'll get me really ready to come in and talk on the radio. But the bottom line is the injury that he sustained while at Oklahoma. He's had a hard time coming back. Cost him, took away a lot of weight. He was able to get it back, but he's just not been the same player. And I think you saw that this year. He was passed later in the season by Nate Adkins. Travion Kenyon, who obviously will step up now, is a guy that's got a very big upside. And Stogner wants to get closer to home. It sounds like he's comfortable at Oklahoma. No word yet if that's necessarily where he's going to go, but it does sound like that there's a comfort level there with Oklahoma, even though it's a different coaching staff, different system, everything. No word yet if that is indeed where he'll end up going, but certainly with Stogner, it makes a lot of sense. And he just not, unfortunately, that injury, and it was a deep thigh bruise. And we talked about Marshawn Lloyd's deep thigh bruise, the one he sustained against Missouri. And in talking with people, I didn't realize Stogner's was so severe that he then picked up what actually became a life-threatening infection in that thigh bruise. It's just unfortunate for him, and hopefully he bounces back. But yeah, he's really, from what I understand, and this is just talking with people, not with my own eyes or anything, but is that he kind of struggled or is struggling to get back to being the player, having the speed, having some of the power that he had initially when he got to college. So unfortunate for him, but sounds like, yeah, Oklahoma could be in his future. From Columbia weighing in this morning and says, great information from Brad. If you had to pick one of those names, who do you prefer out of the three he named? Longo, Harrell, Phil Longo, Graham Harrell, or Garrett Riley? Who do you think is the best fit? Phil Longo has some ups and downs in his career that I've seen that I'm not particularly thrilled with. Garrett Riley, I still want to see more from. I feel like I know it's easy to say, oh yeah, he's proven. Look what he just did. That's still Sonny Dykes' system now. But he's calling the plays. I do like Garrett Riley. Probably if I had my pick of those three in order, it would be Riley, Longo, and then Graham Harrell. I'm not crazy about Graham Harrell. I think South Carolina's got to have somebody who's got more foundation in the run game. I have not paid as much attention to Graham Harrell as the other two. I know he is a Mike Leach air raid system guy. I'd have to go back and watch more of West Virginia football and get a better feel for that myself to see what exactly his core concepts are. I would probably go Riley, Longo, and then Graham Harrell. We'll talk more about it. Tony Annan will be in later on this morning. We're pretty wide open. Look forward to him joining us. It's the early game, 107.5 The Game.
The home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game. WNKT-FM, Eastover, Columbia, a Cumulus media station.
At Mount Valley Foundation Services, we're proud to share some of what our customers have said about us.
I was having problems with water in my crawl space during heavy rains. I was concerned about mold and the air my family was breathing. I'm so happy I called. The problem was fixed, and I'm not stressed anymore.
Mount Valley Foundation Services can keep your home and family safe. Visit fixmyfoundation.com to book your free inspection.
Mount Valley Foundation Services, rock solid foundation.
Uneven sidewalks, pool decks, or patios? Canty can repair them for just a fraction of the cost of replacement. Call Canty Foundation Specialists today for your free estimate.
Canty can fix it.
Uneven concrete can be a dangerous tripping hazard leading to injury. Call the experts at Canty to permanently repair your sinking or cracked concrete. Call 753-1495 or visit CantyCanFixIt.com. Canty can fix it. With COVID-19 still present in our community, the South Carolina Department on Aging hopes you and your loved ones stay safe during this time. We encourage older adults, family caregivers, and adults living with disabilities to learn more about how the COVID-19 vaccine can help protect against severe illness or death. For more information on how to keep you and your family safe, call the national hotline at 1-800-232-0233. That's 800-232-0233.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code AUTO for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code AUTO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code AUTO for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. Here's attorney Eric Moan for the Hood Team.
The two things with the Hood Team I think are the best. They combine the personal approach of a small operation with the assets and professionalism of a big operation. You put those two together and they just can't be beat.
I'm Danny Hood.
And I'm Karen Hood.
And I'm William DiMaggio.
We're the Hood Team at Coldwell Banker Realty.
Give us a call
at 803-730-2393. 2512.
or online at thehoodteam.com.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by the power of Love Chevrolet. Things are good and only getting better. Love has more new Chevys on the lot than any other dealer in the Midlands. And we're ordering new vehicles every day. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads.
The early game with Bill Gunter.
I will never forget asking Will Muschamp what he does for entertainment. He's like, we don't vacation around here. I was like, all right, this interview is going well. So anyway, earlier I was talking about how good I think Heath is at interviewing people and getting answers. And so I was making that joke, and I thought on the fly, first thing that popped into my mind was tickling people.
And Jensen.
I just really don't even know where to go with that. That's the first thing that came to mind, not about having intuitive questions, being insightful, and having done research.
He's a big teddy bear at the end of the day. Big teddy bear.
On your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Rolling along on a Wednesday morning. Again, it'll be our final day of this week. Jen and I are going to sneak in a vacation. Not together. I'm going to the North Pole to help Santa. Gotta get the presents ready. The presents don't make themselves, Jen.
I heard that.
The presents don't make themselves up there for Santa. So I'm heading up to the North Pole. I mean, I'm the size of an elf. So I'm gonna go up there and join in and do the manual labor.
The reindeer games.
Yep, I'll help.
Do you really know how to use power tools, though?
No.
Okay.
No.
So really, I should be the one going to the North Pole.
Yeah.
Doing the work.
Possibly. Well, I'm more of I'll feed the reindeer and I'll, do
mix the drinks for Santa and the elves.
walk the reindeer, and all that good stuff. So, no, we'll get out. We're going to take 2 days. I don't know what Jen's going to do. She's probably going to mow her yard and probably some neighbors' yards because that's what she likes to do. And she'll, all the fun yard work items that occur in the month of December.
The thing to do right now is power washing,
there you go.
The mold or whatever that's popping up, the moss and yucky stuff from all this wet weather. It's terrible. I'm not a fan.
So Jen is thrilled to spend 2 days just power washing everything around the house, and I am
power wash you.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, there. See, she's just very fired up to break out the power wash. You see how we vacation around here.
Actually, I'm gonna try to get some get a head start on getting gifts wrapped and I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet, but as far as mowing the yard, oh my goodness, no. It's your feet would dip down 5 inches just because of how wet it is out here.
It is. We were talking about the weather. It's supposed to clear up there today. I think you've given a weather report.
Today and tomorrow, but then we might get some rain again on Friday.
Good.
So, yuck.
Good. All right. Well, again,
You'll be at the North Pole, so
I'll
be okay.
So all you kids heading to school this morning, you better be good. Parents report back to me. I report back to the big guy.
For goodness sake.
That's right. We're getting you ready. So we're going to take a 2-day vacation, and we will be – you just heard how we vacation. Doesn't sound much like a vacation, does it? We'll be back on Monday. Again, program note on Monday, Grayson Howard, the South Carolina linebacker commitment.
I'm honestly really looking forward to that.
I am too. He's a great guy. We've corresponded via the Twitter machine, and super kid. And I look forward to having him on. Jamie Bradford will be with us, so Jamie can ask a bunch of questions. And we will get into a lot with Grayson Howard. We'll cut up, have a good time. I always worry that these we're about to go down this path again that's led to, I think, that particular promo that you just heard leading us in. But these recruits, I always try to tell them, look, man, we're not bringing you in to hold your feet to the fire and ask the hard questions. We're coming in to learn a little bit about your personality and who you are. I think it was Javon Kinlaw that Wes Mitchell and I interviewed one time, and he talked about, I think, the temperature, how hot it was out in LA and Los Angeles. He'd gone to an official visit for Southern Cal, and he started getting into how bad the weather was out there and said, nope, that was a defining moment. He was not going to go to Southern Cal. I don't remember the exact interview with that. So, but we'll bring Grayson in. We'll have him on the phone line, and we'll cut up with him and have a really good time and talk with him not only about his commitment to South Carolina, but also about the Jacksonville area as we get you ready to head down to Jacksonville for the bowl game. So we'll do that. That's just a little programming note. Tony Annan due up here with us here in just a little while, and he'll hang out. No Heath Klein today, as Heath is on vacation as well. We will be back, just to kind of give you an idea. We'll be back all next week, and then we'll be back 3 days, the 19th, 20th, and the 21st. Signing day is the 21st. We will have kind of our own special signing day program here on the 6 to 9 show on the early game. We'll have donuts, of course. Why wouldn't you have donuts on signing day? We'll see if we can line up a couple guests that morning and kind of go from there. So after the 21st, Jen and I will take the 22nd and 23rd off for Christmas. As a company, we're taking the Monday off, the 26th, and then we will all be back the 27th to start getting you ready for the Gator Bowl, and obviously carry you on into that Friday, the 30th. So that's just an idea. If you try to sync your calendar with us,
Well, good luck on that one.
yeah, if you're trying to keep up with Jen and I, and you can't stand it, you have to know where we're at and what we're doing. It's like that Life 360 thing that everybody attaches to their kids nowadays. That's what we're doing the next 3 weeks. We will take tomorrow and Friday off, be here all week next week, be here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the week of Christmas, and then be back Tuesday through Friday, the week after Christmas. So 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in on this. Couple of you. Let's get to some of these Firehouse Subs text messages that have come in. Anonymous texter says, isn't taking a kid back from the portal like taking back your ex who explored other options?
Oh.
I know I'm in the minority, but not a fan of that idea. No matter who the player is, no player is bigger than the team. I don't know. It depends. Obviously, in this day and age with NIL, if a player is going to go out, what I don't like is a player exploring his options for monetary purposes, putting himself in the portal and basically going, all right, who of you out there has the best NIL package? Where am I going for the most amount of money? That's what I don't like. And at that point, yes, I'm kind of with you. I wouldn't take that player back. But I understand. Look, kids get into school and some things aren't going as they would want it to go, and maybe they pop their name out into the transfer portal. And if it's a really good opportunity to go to another school, maybe you take it. But then maybe you look around and you go, you know what? The grass is not always greener on the other side of the fence. I think that's been mentioned several times when you talk about taking back the old ex there. But yeah, the grass is not always greener. So you say, all right, come on back. Let's make it all work. Let's make it feel like it should. And we'll get this thing sorted out. I'm okay in certain situations. Jaheim Bell, this is a 1-year deal for him. And, it's really interesting to see what's going to happen with him. And I'm going to be fascinated to see how his career goes, because this is a risky move, right? Like, you go to Florida. Florida is a school that was just mentioned by Brad Crawford, and maybe Florida is a program that reaches. I know last night somebody put out the schools that were in touch with him, and at least I guess what you would say is publicly, legally. I don't, not behind the scenes, not tampering. Florida has not contacted Jaheim Bell yet, but that's a risky situation. Look at what's going on with the quarterback situation down there. You're going to go put your 1 year on the line for basically an unproven, unknown quarterback at Florida. You want to go to Georgia. Georgia's got a ton of playmakers. You think you're going to go over there and be playmaker number 2, number 3, number 4? I mean, you're not going to be number 1. And as somebody pointed out with Georgia, if it's tight end that Jaheim Bell wants to play or is projecting to play, you got some dude named Brock Bowers in front of you. Oscar Delp, remember that kid? Well, he's still over there. Georgia's got a lot of playmakers. Not that Jaheim Bell isn't one of them, and I get you have confidence in yourself, but you go over there, man, good luck on that. Let's hypothetically say you want to go to Mississippi. Mississippi's in the mix, but let's hypothetically say you want to follow Deion Sanders out to Colorado. You want to give that a shot. That's a wild. I mean, don't tell me that's not a risky situation out there. You don't know who you're going to be playing with or where you're going to fit in. And I think Deion's got a chance to be successful doing it in year one? Oh, no, man. That seems wild. So for Jaheim Bell, to me, you know where you stood at South Carolina. And, if Spencer Rattler does indeed come back and, you at least see who the offensive coordinator was, it seems like for a 1-year deal, your best option is to stay at South Carolina. But we'll see what happens with Jaheim Bell. And so if he wanted to come back, yes, I could see taking him back. I wouldn't say that for each and every
How
prospect.
how do his fellow teammates feel about it? Like, okay, you want to take off, but then you come back, or how do the coaches process it? Are they just like, "Hey, great to have you back," moving on, like they don't hold a grudge, kind of like the ex and that whole scenario?
Truthfully, the Jaheim Bell situation, and I'm not accusing anybody of anything illegal. So let me make that clear. I'm not trying to throw accusations out there. But if you follow like the little breadcrumbs there, that's really weird. On Sunday, he's posting trash talk to Tennessee and Clemson fans. He's completely Gamecock involved. I get it. Maybe it was generic and it went out on every. I don't know what NIL deal he has that's his clothing brand, his clothing label. Like he was selling a shirt.
Right.
And what I'm saying is I don't know if what he posted was across the board posted by like every player that's affiliated with that agency and they put all the same message out.
Okay.
Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say? But to post, hey, buy your whatever brand of shirt I'm selling, buy that and wear it to the bowl game in Jacksonville. Be the first one. And you're promoting kind of yourself in the bowl game. And then 11 hours later, you're in the transfer portal. And by the way, again, as Brad Crawford said, and as I've heard, he did kind of tell the coaches he was coming back. So something changed there. So I would think with Jaheim Bell, if, and you heard Brad Crawford say it a little bit earlier, and Jen will put up that interview. I think Donnie here says he missed Brad in the 6 o'clock hour. You can go to Jen's Twitter, go to @Jen Jensen Morse, where you can rehear that interview. She'll put it up later on this morning or get it up here before the end of the show. But Brad saying that not very likely at all. Slim to none chance that that Brad will, or excuse me, that Jaheim Bell will be back. But yeah, that's the thing with the transfer portal. So 803-404-6100, how you can weigh. Let me get to a few more of these questions here. Richard weighing in on something that I'm with him on this. He says, guys, I'm most curious in seeing where certain quarterbacks are going to land. He mentioned Spencer Sanders as well. He says, I think they have the most to offer than anyone else in the portal. Brad Crawford mentioned Devin Leary from North Carolina State. Obviously, DJU is in there. Keaton Slovis from Pittsburgh. I've mentioned JT Daniels from West Virginia is in the transfer portal.
Maybe with him, JT Daniels, maybe they do like the oh my gosh, I just forgot his name. Where in the world is Waldo?
They could. Yeah,
maybe they could do that, and start having pins that you put in, or the flat Stanley that goes around. Maybe it's the flat JT, and people, post where they've.
If you didn't hear that in the first hour, JT Daniels, who's transferred already 3 times. He's been at Southern Cal. He's been at Georgia. He's been at West Virginia. Now he's transferring the 4th time. Welcome to college football in 2022, where you just basically transfer every year. You visit different college. I'd have loved to do that, by the way. Not as an athlete, but just
tour around.
Yeah, if I had 4 years to 5 with a redshirt year to party hardy with both hands at whatever school I ended up with.
I have a family friend of ours, my daughter's friend, who was going through PA school. So she was doing residencies in different towns, and it's like, so she was in Houston.
Check out the bar
and
scene.
she was, she'd been all kinds of different places so she could experience some areas. I think it's kind of a cool idea.
That's what I'd be doing. I'd just be checking out the bar scene at every school. Who cares what my GPA would be? It doesn't really matter anyway. I ended up doing sports talk radio for a living. I mean,
certainly don't.
My GPA was completely irrelevant to my profession. It could have had a 0.0 and been like Bluto.
Popeye?
Blutowski. Oh, why am I drawing a blank on the Animal House?
Animal House.
Yeah.
Wow. How you've seen Animal House, but you've not seen other movies?
Everybody's seen Animal House. What do you got, Tony? Belushi. Well, yeah, that's John Belushi.
Yeah.
Tony Annan just shows up now with just rap music. He's all in. And have you seen Animal House?
A long time ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's one of my favorite. It is one of my favorite movies.
So you know who Bluto is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
0.0. 803-404-6100. We will hang out. Tony Annan in studio. We'll cut up with him on a couple of things. I want to get an inside perspective from him today on hiring coaches, how he goes about doing it. Like when you have to hire assistants, he's obviously worked professionally, now obviously at the University of South Carolina. We'll get into that. We'll talk a little World Cup with him, the USA and Netherlands. Yesterday, a couple big blowouts, and I assume Morocco over Spain was a massive upset.
Yeah, very big.
Okay. All right. And I will say this. I sent this in a text message to somebody yesterday. I kind of wanted to make fun of the soccer fans who would cry after these big victories, only to remember that I might have cried a little bit after South Carolina beat Clemson.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you can't really say anything when you realize I might have shed a few tears after Shane and company took down the Fighting Dabos. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up
on the next Extra Point.
Do you want to hear the last couple of names that have popped up on the text line here?
Bring them.
Mike Shanahan, Jeff Scott, Joe Brady, Dan Mullen, and Kevin Sumlin. Those are the last 6 names that we've got.
Those are very interesting. Firehouse Subs text line.
Yep.
Well, we can go ahead and eliminate Jeff Scott off the top. That's not happening.
I agree.
Can all of those names be pretty comfortably eliminated?
Kevin Sumlin, I remember hearing at some point that he didn't know. No, I'm not saying Kevin Sumlin. But
The Extra Point.
With Pearson, Preston, and Gamecock Central.
9 a.m. to noon.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5. The Game.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
You still have a few accidents out there. Old Farm Road at Rawle Road. I-77 southbound at Shop Road. I-77 southbound at I-20. I-20 westbound at I-26. Disabled vehicle. That could be slowing things down a little bit. Glen Road at Old Wire Road, an accident. 2 more to let you know about. East Steel Road at Platte Springs Road. And I-77 southbound at Bluff. Your forecast for today. Once this fog rolls out, we'll have a high of 72, 71 tomorrow. Rain could be coming back in for Friday and a high of 65, but there is definitely some patchy dense fog out there, so be careful. It's 55 at 107.5 The Game.
This is from our science with the CBS Sports Minute. It's getting cold out on the penalty lap track, but it can't be getting colder than Denver's offense. If they could hack it for 20 points per game, they'd actually be 9-3. Also running is the Chargers defense, which got run over and thrown on by the Raiders. Finally, Zach Wilson is staying on the track until he's reactivated. That's called tough love, folks. The NFL's a tough, tough place to play. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text JUDGE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text JUDGE to 321-321. That's JUDGE to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Sponsored by NetSpend All Access Account. NetSpend All Access Account. Get the account designed for your everyday mobile banking needs. Banking services provided by an account established by Pathward NA. Member FDIC. Deposit account opening is subject to registration and ID verification. Terms and costs apply.
When you can't stop, there's Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub sends powerful medicated Vicks vapors right to the source of your... so you can experience cough relief and breathe easier. Generations of families have trusted Vicks VapoRub to help relieve the worst cold symptoms. So next time you have a cough, reach for the Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub. Cough relieving is believing.
Here's to Prilosec OTC. Without Prilosec, I wouldn't be able to enjoy all this yummy holiday food. Speaking of, whoever made that apple pie, delicious. I just take one pill each morning and zero heartburn all day. So cheers to Prilosec OTC. Ooh, are those jalapeno poppers?
Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid that can cause heartburn, so you can enjoy the holidays. One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Plus tax and title with approved credit call 866-243-4623 for details. This holiday season, buy any new Jeep, Ram, or Dodge at JT's Jeep Ram and pay off your credit cards up to $10,000. That's right. Buy any new Jeep, Ram, or Dodge at JT's Jeep Ram and pay off your credit cards up to $10,000. Savings? How about $10,000 off a brand new Ram? Credit concerns? It's Christmas. JT is saying yes. Rush to JT's Jeep Dodge Ram, 378 Lexington, jtsjeepram.com. Big Finish sales event.
Hi, Scott here from Traditions with good news for you early Christmas shoppers, because we've got some amazing deals on beautiful diamond jewelry, like 1/2 carat total 8 studs for just $3.99, 1 carat total 8 studs just $9.99. And how about diamond solitaire rings, 1 carat starting at just $14.99 and 2 carats just $39.99. And remember, we're not just jewelers. We're also sports fans. And with all that's been going on with these amazing Gamecocks, you'll be happy to know that we have over $1 million worth of collegiate apparel in stock. So if this is the year that some folks on your Christmas list need Gamecock gear, you got to come see us. You will not believe the selection, and everybody knows we've got the best prices. Can't visit one of our stores? No problem. Just visit our website at GamecockTraditions.com. Only at Traditions on Sunset in Lexington and at the Fountain at Sandhills, where the Midlands get engaged.
Ho, ho, ho. At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we've seen how terrible accidents turn lives upside down, and we're proud to be the lawyers our clients depend on during their toughest moments. I'm Jason Reynolds. Call me when your family is faced with any serious injury or death.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When you're hurt at work, I go to work, getting you the medical treatment and workers' compensation you depend on. We have the experience and passion you need when you need it most.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 779-4000.
How wrestling really works and how you get the ratings. Eric Bischoff and Conrad Thompson explain on 83 Weeks.
Master P is maybe not the hottest and the hippest and the coolest, but Buddy, in the late 90s, there was nobody bigger in the game. People are going to poke fun at this.
Well, it's working with Logan Paul.
Yes.
Come on. You're trying to tap into or attract a segment of the audience that you don't already have. I mean, I think the Logan Paul thing that's taking it to an entirely different universe.
83 Weeks on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
with Bill Gunter and Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks. The early game.
107.5 The Game.
No, that's a miss. You missed that one. Now you got me trying to think who raps "Insane in the Membrane." What group is that? That's what Tony said coming in. I was like, no, that's not right. And so Naughty by Name 0 for 1 today.
House of Pain.
House of Pain. There you go. That's right. How jump around up at. Yeah. Well, let's not go too far. You got all morning to redeem yourself. Tony Anna joining us as he does each and every Wednesday. Again, reminder: Jen and I will be out. Cypress Hill is who it is. House of Pain.
In front of you
well, no, somebody on the thing on our live stream just pointed out Cypress Hill. Thank you for pointing that out. We will be out. Jen and I'll be out tomorrow and Friday. We will be back on Monday to do the show. And again, we'll be joined by Grayson Howard, the linebacker that is committed to South Carolina at Jacksonville for the 2023 class. So he'll be enrolling. I think he enrolls early. I need to confirm that, but I think he actually enrolls early. So Grayson Howard will join us 7:15 on Monday morning. Jamie Bradford will be in with us as well that morning. So it should be a lot of fun. But just a reminder that if you tune in tomorrow and Friday, Jen is doing yard work and I'm at the North Pole with Santa and I'm taking care of the reindeer. They needed somebody, and I might be preparing for my next profession, taking care of the reindeer. Speaking of professions and hiring people, Shane Beamer in the market for an offensive coordinator. When I'll ask you the serious questions here before we start cutting up, as a collegiate head coach, when you had to hire your staff, how does that work behind the scenes? All we see is the press release that comes out. But having been in this business, having worked professionally as well, what is it like for a coach to have to hire? Because for us, I think a lot of people just look around and say, oh, you know what we ought to do? Let's just call people randomly and see if they want to come interview. I think a lot of people in the business world, they just assume it's, all right, let me check a bunch of resumes. What does it get on? What is it, LinkedIn or leads.com? Yeah.
Indeed, and all of that.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I've only been a collegiate coach for a year and a half. So it's the first time I've had to hire in college. And it wasn't easy because I didn't know that many people.
Okay.
I wasn't allowed to bring people with me from Atlanta United. It was a part of my separation agreement. So a lot of times I think pro coaches will take guys they know, are familiar with. They have an instant trust factor that they don't have to worry about the guy talking behind their back, going behind their back with players, wanting his job. So a little bit of stuff like that going on. So a lot of the times I think pro coaches will hire people that they've known for a long time, that they trust. And sometimes regardless of the resume, to be honest, like there's some hires where you go, how did he get that job?
Right.
Like he's so underqualified than this guy or that guy. But it comes down to trust. It comes down to, can you work with them? Can you trust them? And can they get the job done? I mean, that's obviously the most important thing. I mean, I hired 3 guys if you include Will, I'd never met before. So I took a bit of a risk, I guess, is to my usual hiring process, which would be, do I know them? Can I trust them? This and the other. But I did quite a bit of research on them. I took opinions of friends who I do trust. And I obviously spoke to both of these guys, the full-time guys. I spoke to them extensively on the phone and tried to get a feel and ask the right questions to see what their answers were. But yeah, I mean, I took I guess in my position, it took a little bit of a risk because I didn't know them and I didn't know anything about them. So we've got to know each other over the last year and a half, and hopefully we're forming a good bond, and I trust both of them, and they're both great guys and they both work hard. So I got lucky.
As you were building your staff, because I think this is the other part, especially for me, with my background having done recruiting, you'd love to get that guy who's the dynamic recruiter who can also draw up X's and O's. Like that's, if you've got that guy, like you said, he seems as qualified as any. But when you were making your hiring, did you think, all right, I want somebody who's a little bit more maybe oriented in the X's and O's? Or did I want somebody who's maybe a little bit more charismatic and personal and can go and recruit? When you were making that, is that something that you ever thought about, or how did you weigh those decisions as a head coach?
I didn't have a lot of time because I came in basically June. Season was starting August. I had about 12 guys that reached out to me because obviously I knew college coaches, but I'd mainly dealt with head coaches more than assistants. And I had about 12 guys reach out. I kind of sifted through them, but I didn't want people around me like me.
Okay.
That's something I look for when I build a staff is, yes, I want to have a good relationship. We want to have fun, right? Doing things, but I don't want someone who's going to agree with me all the time. I don't want someone who's going to be like me. I think it's very important that your staff has a variation of styles, of personalities, and especially when you're sitting in a meeting and you're asking, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? If everyone just agrees with you all the time or has the same philosophy as you all the time, then it's kind of vanilla.
That's why Bill and I complement each other so well.
You're drastically different.
Yes.
See, and that's how this thing works, right?
See?
So I said, right, I want guys that are going to challenge what I say a little bit. I want guys that are going to disagree with me a little bit and think in a different way. So I kind of approach it that way. And then, yes, personality is a huge part of coaching. If you're a vanilla guy and you're flat and you're boring, to use a better word, but coaching is a lot of relationships, and it's a lot of how you make the player feel as well. So I think it's very, very important to look at personality and how those people interact with other people around. that aren't that too far ahead of them. I mean, my guys are 32, I think, and some of my lads are 24. So not a huge age difference there. And you've got to be able to interact and be a mature coach while bringing the best out of people with their personality.
With Shane having to make the offensive coordinator hire, is there a position on your staff that's similar to just offensive coordinator? Like, I don't for people that don't know, do you have, say, more of an offensive coach and then also more of a defensive coach, and then you're kind of in the middle, or how does that work on your staff?
It's not a bad idea. Alec is more attacking minded. He was a forward. He's got a forwards mentality. He's got a forwards attitude. Tam was a centre back. So, I've got a guy who was a defender. I've got a guy who was a forward. I was a midfielder and a defender, but I don't sort of say that I excel in any area of that. But we do break the game down into units, what we call units. So forwards, midfielders, we do a lot of that. So it is helpful that a centre back can take the centre backs and the full backs, and the forward can design drills to attack. So it does happen. It's happening more and more in soccer. The individualization of training. So it does help. It really does. And obviously, you then have a goalkeeper coach who has a perspective of the game that we don't, because they do think, I think, they think a little differently than we do.
We'll continue talking about it. It's just interesting how, and to relate it back to, you can kind of give insight into maybe what Shane is thinking or how a coach thinks. And we'll continue talking about that. Also, just get your concepts as a coach on the transfer portal. I mean, I don't know if it's like it is in soccer, like what we saw on Monday, where over 1,000 names went into the transfer portal in college football. And obviously name, image, likeness in soccer is not like it is in football. And there is a major impact on kids. I don't want to say all of them, 1,000 names. Not all of them are going and thinking, all right, where can I go make money? But how you perceive the collegiate rule on the transfer portal right now, because it's interesting on what is allowed and what's not allowed. I mentioned it earlier. You got a quarterback at West Virginia who's transferring for the 4th time. He's been at Southern Cal. He's been at Georgia. He just went to West Virginia. Now he's heading out and going somewhere else. I want to get your perspective on that, on a kid transferring 4 times like that as a coach. When you see that, we'll take that. We'll talk more with Tony. We'll see if he can guess what the next bump music will be. We got a lot of games to play with him this morning. We even get in some Christmas stuff.
Reindeer games.
Reindeer games. Well, that's what, again, that's why I'm off it. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Our 15th anniversary celebration on 107.5 The Game
is sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, getting you better sooner.
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game and the new 107.5 The Game app.
The heat and air in my house is working. I mean, it's having to really put forth some effort right now because we've had some cold nights. Woke up this morning. It was actually a little bit warmer. Jen and I were talking about that as we were discussing the next few days and all the great yard work she's going to do. You've got to make sure your heating and air unit is working properly for you. If it's not and it goes out, now you're in a whole world of hurt. But good news, AAA Heating and Air is there to help you. That's right. With a $1,500 rebate to buy back your old unit, then a 15-year parts and labor warranty to make sure a brand new unit keeps working. AAA Heating and Air starts you off right, giving you a $1,500 rebate and then giving you a 15-year parts and labor warranty. And how about this? If you're in the market for a brand new heating and air unit, but you're a little worried about your credit or you're a little worried about financing, AAA Heating and Air guarantees financing. They'll make sure that you are taken care of. So contact AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. You can have new comfort in your home as soon as tomorrow if you can contact AAA Heating and Air today. Get that brand new heating and air unit installed. Again, a $1,500 rebate to buy back your old unit. They'll work with you, a 15-year parts and labor warranty. And again, the absolute best part, guaranteed financing for everybody. 803-677-1500. Again, that's 803-677-1500. That's AAA Heating and Air. Call them today. Tell them Bill Gunter sent you.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
Clemson Road at Summit Parkway. We have an accident there. Also, East Steel Road at Platte Springs Road. On I-77 southbound at Shop Road around exit 6. The left lane is currently blocked, and there is an accident a mile up the road or a mile down the road at exit 5. So really slow there on I-77 southbound. I'm pretty much getting close to a parking lot between mile markers 5 and 6 and beyond. Fontaine Road at 277. We have an accident there. Hayward Brockington Road at Blue Ridge Terrace. I-77 southbound at I-20. We have a report of an accident there. 2 others to let you know about: Old Farm Road at Rawl Road and Sloan Road at Flora Drive. The fog should be burning off here in a bit. 72 will be our high today, 71 tomorrow, some showers, and 65 for Friday. It's 55 right now at 107.5 The Game.
Hey, if you've got a hole in your roof or you need a whole new roof, you need to call Mid-State Roofing, 356-1919. For nearly a quarter of a century, Mid-State Roofing has established its reputation as the leader in the roofing industry. Whether it's above your head or at your feet, perhaps a leaky foundation, 356-1919 is the number to call for all your roofing and waterproofing needs. The quality and craftsmanship of a Mid-State roofing system are tops in the industry, especially commercial and industrial roofing systems. If you own or you're in charge of a large building, warehouse, or industrial facility, then you're in charge of that roof. And at some point, a roof is going to need some attention. So the number to call for advice, service, results, and a commitment to customer satisfaction is 356-1919. See all that Mid-State has to offer when you click on midstateroofing.com. Tell them, Mid-State twins.
If you have a leak, let Mid-State Roofing take a peek.
356-1919, midstateroofing.com.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service, Guy Gant's company. Guy Gant's not with us anymore, but his girls are the Gant girls. You know, Chelsea and Madison. You know some of the things they do at Pioneer Tree Service? Tree and shrub removal, tree pruning and thinning, tree planting, tree bracing, raising tree canopies, stump grinding removal, storm damage services, property cleaning and grading, demolition and rock removal, right-of-way maintenance. You got to get in touch with these people. 803-794-8253. Let me give you that again. 803-794-8253. Call right now and get a free estimate. For the most challenging jobs, Pioneer Tree Service. So you're going to want to call somebody you can trust, and that is the Gant girls at Pioneer Tree Service.
803-794-8253. Or find us online at pioneertreesc.com.
Call Pioneer Tree Service for a free quote.
I'm here with Jacob Crowder, known to our listeners as the mortgage guru. We're all hearing about mortgage rates right now. Jacob, what's the market telling you?
Now more than ever, it's important to know your mortgage banker. When working in a volatile market, it's important to be well informed and have the ability to move quickly. Working with a local bank gives you access to bank products and superior service. Here at First Palmetto, we have your best interest at heart and have the ability to get the job done. Call me today, 803-719-1005, or email me at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com.
That's good stuff, Jacob. Tell me more.
We are still seeing a competitive purchase market. Having a strong requalification from a local bank goes a long way with a tight market. With housing supplies still being minimal, we're doing a lot of construction loans. If you're looking to buy land and build on it, or if you're looking to build on land you already have, we're a great resource for construction loans. Call us today to discuss how we can help you. 803-719-1005 or email at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com.
In times like these, you need an expert. Call the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder, 803-719-1005.
First Palmetto Bank is an equal housing lender, a member of FDIC, and all loans are subject to approval. My NMLS number is 198432.
When your business information is missing or inconsistent across the internet, search engines won't find you, and customers won't either. Help ensure customers see you and not your competitors. Boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
How about those Gamecocks? Scott here with Gamecock Traditions, letting you know the Rivalry Score shirts are in store and online now. Long sleeve, short sleeve, and youth tees are all available. Shop in store at 5134 Sunset Boulevard in Sand Hills Village or online at GamecockTraditions.com. That's GamecockTraditions.com. Merry Christmas from Gamecock Traditions, your one-stop Gamecock shop.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Eight 803-404-6100, how you can weigh in. Hanging out with head soccer coach Tony Annan this morning as we do each and every Wednesday. And one of the things that we were talking about is the transfer portal. it doesn't just affect football and basketball. It affects all sports. I mean, I've seen Mark Kingston trying to use it effectively to build a baseball team for this coming. Hard to believe, by the way, real quick. I did the math on it. We are, I think, in the ballpark of about 100. Jen and I were doing this the other day, about 100 days. We do the 100-day countdown to the start of football season. I'm sure somewhere Tommy Moody's got a countdown going on for the start of baseball season. But, yeah, we're about 100 days away, maybe a little less, maybe a day or two more. Yesterday, South Carolina putting out their season schedule. They'll open February 17th against Massachusetts Lowell. Loyola? Something like that. It's not Lowell.
There's a Y.
There's not a Y. No, it's not Loyola. It's Lowell.
Oh, Lowell.
Lowell. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's not Loyola. I know.
Okay, well, sometimes you struggle with that.
Yeah, I do. I struggle. English is not my first language, but yeah, it's certainly. So yeah, but they'll start February 17th. So, excuse me, is that right? 31 days in January, tack on another 16, takes you to 47. Throw in, today's the 7th. There's 28 days. No, excuse me, there's 24 days left. So actually well under 100. We did poor math yesterday when you and I were talking about the start of baseball
I need to
season.
get a countdown clock.
Yeah, you do. All right. So anyway, there's that going on. But let's go back to where I was going with this before I got completely sidetracked doing math. If I told you, give me your impression, because I see this with JT Daniels, the quarterback. This is he started at Southern Cal. He got beaten out. He went to Georgia. He got beaten out. By the way, he's 19-12 as a starter. 19-12 or 17-12. I've got to go back and look at my ESPN stat here. He was a 7-0 as a starter at Georgia. Left Georgia and went to West Virginia. He entered the transfer portal yesterday. So you see a player as a coach, when you see that, what comes to your mind?
What are you looking for?
Yeah,
I think if you look at it as a player, as a coach, you say, what is going on here? Why? That's the first thing you do is, why does he keep bouncing? Why does he keep jumping? Is it a problem with him and his attitude? Is it a problem with the coaches that he has that aren't up to his standard, I guess? There's questions like that, but I don't think I would touch a player that's been jumping around like that. For me personally, it shows no commitment, no loyalty, which I get. Loyalty is a dying asset these days with players. But, I wouldn't go near him because it just shows that he's not dedicated. He can't get through adversity. Tons of different things for me that it shows without even speaking to him. The fact that you've jumped 3 times in 3 years means he's looking for something he probably will never find.
Yeah, I think it's 3 times in 4 years because he spent 2 years at Georgia. But to your point, are you willing, if it's a stud player and you go, okay, I need you look at it and you almost go, he's a 1-year assassin. I'm bringing it. Do you think that changes a coach's opinion?
For sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Because I think he's got to be close to out of eligibility at this point.
Each coach has their own philosophy on what they want in their locker room and what they want in their team.
Mm-hmm.
Some coaches are, you know what, I'm going to take him, I'm going to change him, I'm going to be the guy that changes him. Some guys are not interested because I know exactly what's coming and it's going to upset my locker room and it's not worth destroying my culture that I've built. And then some coaches would say, look, let's just take him and see how it goes. And it's up to you and your own philosophy of how you want to build a team and build your locker room and build your culture. But culture becomes really important, especially these days when there's so much transition between players. And, there's a lot of journeymen now who just, try something else, try something else. And the kid might say, you know what, I just want different experiences, which that's okay.
Big picture. So having done recruiting and been around it, I'm all for a one-time free transfer because coaches leave. That how you might recruit somebody and then you might get fired. You might take another job, and that's not on the players. That player came. I'm a believer, and I think you are too. Players come for the coaches. Sometimes they come for the university, but by and large, they come because they develop that relationship with you or one of your assistants, and then they get to know the university.
Agreed. Yeah.
So if you left or if something happened, I think that player should be given the option to have a free transfer. I think if every kid, and then there's certain situations where a player comes to a school and maybe it's not the experience they thought. Something happened. Maybe a better player gets recruited. Maybe maybe they just don't want to be that far away from mom and dad. Maybe they just, it turns out the system that they thought was going to be good for them is not good for them. I'm okay with that, with a one-time transfer. Where do you stand seeing players now? Again, I don't think it affects soccer like we just saw it. You maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it affects soccer like we just saw it with basketball or with football.
Well, there's about 800 names in the portal for soccer.
Really?
Yeah. So it blew up again. It blew up last year. It blew up again this year. There's not as many this year as went in last year, but there's still about 800 names in there. I mean, look at my situation. I came in and Coach Burson had recruited this whole team.
Right.
And he had recruited that whole team, and they had made a relationship with Mark Burson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tony Hannon comes in, very different to Mark, right? We're different coaches. We've got different philosophies, and they turn around and go, you know what? I don't know if I can do this, or I don't like this, or I don't think this is the place for me anymore. And we had 10 go in the portal last year. And I couldn't argue with that. I mean, there weren't guys that I recruited, even though I liked them and they were good guys, some of them. That's a situation where the transfer portal worked for both of us.
Right.
I was able to go bring guys that I recruited in, that I have relationships with, and they were able to go and try and find new opportunities. And some of them, thought they were going to go on to greener pastures and haven't played. So it's not always a slam dunk either. But I think the portal can be used for good, but I think it's also got some bad restrictions to it as well.
Okay.
I don't think NCAA have got it buttoned up yet and how to use it. But like you said, I think a one-time transfer that for a kid who didn't like me or didn't like the way we played or grew tired of South Carolina and didn't think from the north and they wanted to go back up north. These things happen.
Yeah.
And you can't get upset about it because it works both ways.
Yeah, I totally understand that. But the JT Daniels thing, and he's not the only one. I mean, I'm using him because he's again 17 and 12 as a starter. So they're setting a kid that's been an awful quarterback, and he's had some really good games, and he's bounced around. I don't really know if he got beaten out at the end of the year. Obviously, if you get beaten out, that's a whole different thing. Then he probably should transfer down. We'll continue talking about that, and obviously get into some World Cup. Big upset yesterday. And also the USA and Netherlands. Get your take on if that was an improvement for the USA. I saw where a lot of people were upset after the match, but then I think about 8-10 hours later, people were saying, you know what, be proud of this team. They're set up now for success in 2026. So we'll get your take on that as well. You're listening to Tony Ann, Bill Gunter, Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
The OGs of 107.5 The Game.
Jay Phillips, Heath Klein, and Tommy Moody.
Sharing their memories of 107.5 The Game and celebrating our 15th anniversary.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
Just download the 107.5 The Game app or go to 107.5thegame.com to check out the podcast.
On your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game and the new 107.5 The Game app. 107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
Still pretty busy out there this morning. Clemson Road at Summit Parkway. I-77 southbound at Bluff Road. And things really slow there right now on I-77 southbound due to there having been a couple accidents because there's also one at Shop Road. Fontaine Road at 277, an accident there. Fitz Drive at Church Street. Hayward Brockington Road at Blue Ridge Terrace. I-77 southbound at I-20, an accident there. And Sloan Road at Flora Drive, we also have a tie-up. Looking for the fog to burn off. 72 for the high, 71 tomorrow, 65 with a few showers on Friday. But again, some scattered fog working on getting its way out. 55 at 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program. At the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program, they cover more federal employees, retirees, and their families than any other health plan. Now it's time to see what they can do for you. Learn more about healthy benefits at fepblue.org/wecan.
Life matters. Albert Einstein could not speak until he was 4 years old and did not learn to read until he was 7. Beethoven's music teacher said that as a composer, he is hopeless. When Thomas Edison was a young boy, his teacher said he was so stupid that he could never learn anything. Walt Disney was fired by a newspaper editor because he was thought to have no good ideas. President Harry Truman's mother-in-law always thought her daughter could have done better even while she was living in the White House. Sometimes we have to look very hard to see potential in others or even in ourselves, but each of us is uniquely gifted. We all have something to contribute to our world. The Bible teaches that we're created in God's image and nobody believes in us like God does. The Bible says that God saw us before we were even born, and He knows what we are capable of achieving if we will allow Him access to our lives. This is Stephen Chitty, pastor of Christian Life. Remember, life matters, and so do you. Go to clcolumbia.com for in-person and live streaming service times.
New Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there, and around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at Walmart.
Plus tax and title with approved credit. Call 888-411-7640 for details. This holiday season, buy any new Ram or Dodge at Dodgeland and pay off your credit cards up to $10,000. That's right. Buy any new Ram or Dodge and pay off your credit cards up to $10,000. Savings? How about $10,000 off a brand new Ram? Credit concerns? It's Christmas. JT is saying yes. Rush to Dodgeland on Greystone. JT'sDodge.com. Big Finish sales event.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's $7,500 sign-on bonuses, increased pay, and great employee benefits available. Gift yourself a new career this holiday season. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today, or call 803-734-JOBS for more information. Here's Bill McDaniel of McDaniel's Auto Group for the Hood team.
It's great working with a family. You're not getting just Danny Hood. You're getting Karen and William. You're getting the whole Hood team. They're just really good people that whatever they tell you, you can trust.
I'm Danny Hood.
And I'm Karen Hood.
And I'm William DiMaggio. We're the Hood team at Coldwell Banker Realty.
Give us a call
at 803-730-2512
or online at thehoodteam.com.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for Integrated Media. You know, in today's world where technology seems to be moving more quickly than ever, it can get a little confusing on exactly what product might be best for you. And just like your car or house, every so often you need to tune up for quick repair. Integrated Media knows this, and that's why they've introduced their Smart Service Plan. With just one click or call, you can let the crew at Integrated Media know your issue, question, or problem, and usually within minutes, they'll respond with a fix and get you and your family back to watching your favorite teams and shows, listening to your favorite tunes, or playing your favorite games. Additionally, the Integrated Media Smart Service Plan provides customers with regular check-ins to make sure things are running smoothly. Plus, they'll automatically upgrade software so you don't have to worry about whether you're up to date. Integrated Media staff has all the tools necessary to keep your system out front of the ever-changing landscape. Home theater, commercial-grade Wi-Fi, and the service to keep it running smoothly. That's what sets Integrated Media apart from everyone else. 803-948-8327 and online at integratedmediainc.com. Integrated Media, watch, listen, control.
This update is sponsored by AAA Heating and Air, home of the $1,500 buyback. AAA is now offering a free ductwork check to make sure your lines are sealed tight and your duct system is performing its best. Call today to get a new unit tomorrow. 803-677-1500.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
with Bill Gunter and Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
New year, Jen, we need new bumper music.
Working on it.
Need new bumper music. 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in. A few minutes left, and I told Coach Andy he can just hang out with us all morning, and we got nowhere to be. We'll talk some more football as well. Oh, he says he's going. I think that was a workout move he just did there. He's going to go work out. Netherlands, United States, it probably went about like we thought it would go. The goal right there at the end of the first half was the killer. It was 1-0. United States had some chances. They You knew that it was going to take an A+ effort from the U.S. and that Netherlands kind of had to have a B kind of effort. But the goal right before the first half, it was the dagger. You go down 2-0. Maybe if you'd gotten to the locker room at half, maybe you can make some adjustments. But your take on that match from Saturday?
I was quite impressed, to be fair, with the US. The first 20 minutes, I thought they took it to them. I thought they had a good spell of possession. And if Pulisic puts that chance away, it creates problems for the Dutch. Because the Dutch set up their shop and they came out one way and they tactically set themselves up to give the US the ball quite a bit, which was quite smart to try and make our central defenders and make the game, as they say. But because they are great defenders, but they're not exactly creative guys. But if Pulisic puts a chance away, it completely changes the Dutch mindset now. Like, we're one down, we can't do this now. We have to come out and have a go. So, moments in games, I say it all the time, moments in games change games. And that was a moment where we could have really got on top of them and made them do things they didn't want to. But at the end of the day, their technical quality, the ideas in the game. I mean, I want to know, did they scout the pullback? They kept getting there and pulling the ball back on their crosses, which they hadn't done a lot of. And if you're going that far into it and you're saying, right, he's gone that far to say if we get into these areas, pull everything back. I don't know, but I'd be interested to know if he did. But at the end of the day, they've got, at the moment, they have better players that can change games that we don't have.
We'll talk a little bit about that in hour number 3. Get a few more thoughts on the World Cup mentioned yesterday. Excuse me. Big upset is Morocco knocks off Spain in penalty kicks, and what that means for the World Cup. And also, as you see it developing, as coach sees it developing, who's playing their best right now. Brazil getting Neymar back certainly was big, and he I think tied Pele or cut it to 1. Or is within 1 goal of the all-time Brazilian record of goals in the World Series. So been pretty entertaining so far. We'll do that. We'll get into some more football discussion with Coach, as well as some just coaching topics and maybe some Christmas recipes as well. See if he can do some baking. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Celebrating our 15th anniversary is Columbia's sports talk station.
WNKT-FM, Eastover, Columbia.
107.5 The Game.
With COVID-19 still present in our community, the South Carolina Department on Aging hopes you and your loved ones stay safe during this time. We encourage older adults, family caregivers, and adults living with disabilities to learn more about how the COVID-19 vaccine can help protect against severe illness or death. For more information on how to keep you and your family safe, call the national hotline at 1-800-232-0233. That's 800-232-0233.
You don't have to go through yet another year with that knee pain or back pain. People with chronic joint pain are getting real, lasting relief from QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Bill Gunter. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. Their unique protocols using healing agents from your own body to target aching joints, repairing and restoring damaged tissue, so you can move again with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Got shoulder pain, excruciating hip pain? If you have any arthritis pain or lingering pain from an injury, don't let them operate on you or give you more steroids, and say no to those pain pills. Call QC Kinetics and see if their life-changing, all-natural treatments can get you living your best life in the new year. I'm telling you, people are raving about these treatments. This is the future of joint pain management, and appointments are available as soon as next week. Make 2023 the year you say goodbye to joint pain. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. 803-281-6860. That's 803-281-6860. That's QC Kinetics.
One search engine is used by 9 out of 10 consumers. Hint, the name begins with a G. And there are hundreds of things that go into being ranked highly by that engine. Your website, your business profile, even your social accounts. A couple of slip-ups and you find yourself on page 7. But at Cumulus Boost, we have the experts and resources to fix what's wrong and boost your findability so you can rank higher than your competition. Get started today at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS boost.com.
Looking for a gift everyone can enjoy? Then give the gift of grill from Jack Oliver's Pool Spa and Patio. I'm Jack Oliver. A grill is more than just something to cook on. It's something family and friends gather around, where great meals and memories are made. We offer the Big Green Egg, Weber and Traeger grills, Blackstone griddles too. While you're at it, update your grilling area with beautiful new patio furniture. It's all in stock and online at Jack Oliver's Pool Spa and Patio, 3303 Forest Drive and jackoliverpools.com.
If you're thinking about retiring soon, Be sure to tune in to Save Your Retirement with Pat Struby of Preservation Specialists. Join Pat as he talks about the latest trends and headlines that could impact your retirement. Don't go into retirement unprepared. Listen each Sunday morning at 10 to Save Your Retirement with Pat Struby of Preservation Specialists. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered through Kalos Capital Incorporated.
Breathing easier in your home with Zero's air duct cleaning. It's the only company I trust to get my home insanely clean. Right now, when you mention me, Bill Gunter at 1075 The Game, you'll get $50 off your next air duct cleaning. Use promo code AIR50 when scheduling online at zeroscolumbia.com.
What we're talking about on 1075 The Game.
Sponsored by the Power of Love Chevrolet. It's that time of year, and no better time to say thank you to you, our valued customer. Love Chevy, your trusted family-owned dealership since 1961. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads.
The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
You can hear that right here on 1075 The Game. That'll be with Jerry. Just going to combine both of their names, Jay and Terry.
Today, I wanted to talk about why so many of you can understand English but find it hard to speak.
And Jensen.
Not yet, but that would be the
Wow.
good name of their show, wouldn't it?
So it's kind of like are you kind of putting it in like a bromance type thing?
Well, did you hear what I did? Did you really catch? I know you're in there doing first, I decided to use the first letter of Terry's name.
Right. I heard Jerry.
Well, I said Tay, maybe
Oh.
Terry and Jay. And then I decided I'd mess it up one more time by going with Jerry.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. You're very trendy.
Life makes no sense. You're on a planet right now. You're on a space rock floating in nothingness, infinite nothingness.
The Early Game.
1075 The Game.
Eight 803-404-6100 is how you can join us this morning. If you want to send in a text message for Coach and you want to get into any of this, you certainly can. We will get going here. Coach was telling a story last week. You were on with us, and then you left. You were on a week ago, and then a week ago tonight, you left to go over to France. You were doing a little recruiting. What I liked was he was talking about driving over there. Not the best experience you've ever had.
Do not drive in Paris, especially at 5 p.m. in the dark when it's raining. It was probably the most stressful I've been in a long time. My jaw hurt. My hands were tight on the wheel. I mean, there is no rules. It's like scooters, birds, mopeds, cats, dogs, other cars, no lanes, like 4-lane roundabout, and everyone's trying to get off into one lane. And nobody looks at anybody and acknowledges anybody else is there. It was chaos. I got to my hotel. I say, wait, where do I park? And she says, oh, sorry, the parking's full. You need to go to another hotel and park at another hotel. I said, oh, how far is that? Oh, it's a quarter of a mile. I said, oh, perfect. Okay, how do I get there? You go up this street, you go that street, you go that street. 3 streets. Perfect. 45 minutes later. I literally took 45 minutes to go a quarter of a mile, parked the car, and walked back to the hotel within 30 seconds. It was, it's not a romantic city, in my opinion. Like, there was no romance there for me whatsoever. But it was crazy, man. I've driven New York, I've driven London. I've never experienced that. It was chaos.
I assume that was not your first trip to France. I would assume that.
No, I've been to Paris before. I've been to France. Yeah, I've been a number of times, but I've never driven. I had to get a car because I had to go recruit 3 hours outside of Paris.
Right.
So I needed a car, and I thought, I'll be fine. They do drive on the same side of the road as us, as America. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did
so
not
that
realize
helped
that.
a little bit. If it was the other way around, it'd have been even more chaos.
So yeah, I guess the steering wheel then is on.
It's normal. Yeah.
It's normal. So England, and maybe Scotland, maybe that.
England, South Africa, Australia. I think are the 3 that drive.
Well, I think because this happened when I went on my honeymoon back 15 years ago, we were in Aruba, and I'm pretty sure that 15 years ago, and it was a honeymoon, I was beveraging quite a good bit.
Yeah.
but I think they drove on the wrong side of the road, on the different, not the wrong, but on the other side of the road.
You can call it the wrong side. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, Britain ruled usually had the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, we were my ex-wife and I, we were in Aruba, and so what happened is we signed up. One of the little excursions we did was to go on a Jeep tour of the island, small island. So, you can travel, you drive the perimeter of the island in like 4 hours, and you ended up at a lighthouse on one side of the island, and for like a kind of a sunset picnic, beverages, hors d'oeuvres, whatever. So we didn't leave the hotel until like 3:00. So we had spent all like morning just sitting by the pool, sitting by the ocean, drinking, having a good time. We get in the taxi or whatever that takes us to the place, and we go walking in. And I mean, I'm feeling really good. I'm enjoying the honeymoon. I've been sitting by the pool, the all-inclusive pool all day, just whatever rum drink I can get my hands on. We go walking in, and the girl, the people say, "All right, you got a driver's license?" I said, "Yeah, here it is." And she goes, "All right, well, go out back and pick out your Jeep." I went, "Well, I'm not driving. I couldn't be sober and drive on this side of the road. Now you want me to have sat by the pool all day and drive?" So we had to hook up with another couple and be like, "All right, man, you got to take the wheel on this one. We'll sit in the back seat. You got to do this. I'm not getting on that side of the car and trying to navigate."
And was it an automatic? Because aren't a lot of cars overseas, aren't they?
Sticks.
Yeah.
I mean, when
Bill would
I go
never
back
make
to
it.
England,
it's
always a stick, and my hand always goes down the wrong side, and I'm
Oh,
reaching at the wrong side, and I have to follow a car for like 10 minutes just to get myself orientated again. So I always try and find a car in front of me so I can follow them. It's kind of right. I'm back
Right.
where I need to be. It takes just a couple of minutes for me, but
Yeah.
I can imagine if you've never driven on that side of the road before, and it's a stick. There's more automatics now than you can request an automatic, but
Okay.
I actually quite like a stick. I miss my
Me too. I like driving a stick, and
especially if
I'm
it's a nice
determined-
car.
Oh yeah, hello.
You've seen the what is it, the Heisman House commercials with Tim
Yeah.
Tebow? That's me. That would be you and me. We're
I'm telling you,
stolen
I
it.
want to do
just
that.
oh yeah. I mean,
I wanna teach
in
Bill.
40 years of living. So with it 20, was it we started driving? I started driving maybe 25 years ago, 15, 16, and that ballpark. I've probably driven a stick for all of 10 minutes.
Mhm. And
That's kind of
Those were
that's kind
10
of
consecutive
embarrassing.
minutes, and I was like, it didn't work, and I was like, put me back over there in the automatic. I was just shift into drive and go. That's
Put her in D and go.
yeah, so no. I mean, you'd have to take me to when you say a parking lot with nothing in it, there doesn't need to be light fixtures, other cars, anything in that parking
I don't
lot.
think you'd have to worry about that. It's you, getting out of first would be your biggest issue to start with. And there's a car.
Kind
we
of
have-
pertains to his life as well, right?
It's
pretty much.
it's the morning. Like, just get out of first gear.
Well done.
Get out of first gear. I was telling the story about Austin. My son was taking him somewhere the other morning. Before I came here, it was 5:00, and for some reason, he wakes up and he's ready to go. Like he's 5 a.m. He gets a great night of sleep, whatever. And so at 5 a.m. we get up, and he wants to start talking because he gets on his phone and he starts seeing all the updates from the night before where he's seen everything, and he starts talking instantly. And I'm taking him, somewhere at 5 a.m. in the morning before I come here. And somehow he got on the box score of South Carolina, Virginia from the Belk Bowl. South Carolina got beat 28-0. And he's just rattling off stats from I'm like, dude, I love you. You're my son. I think you're great, but please stop talking for 10 minutes and let me have coffee and just like start the day. And he wants to he's reading me Jake Bentley's stat line that day. He's reading me Rico Dowdle's stat line that day. I was like, son, we were there. We were at the game. And not only were we there, we got beat 28-0. I don't need to relive it 4 years later. So no, my driving is we stick with the automatic. Yeah.
But don't go to Paris. There you go.
Was it? I mean, when you make those kind of recruiting trips, because now Shane Beamer and staff, they're going out. As a matter of fact, I was on Twitter here when we started the show, and I saw a picture of Jody Wright and Sterling Lucas up in I believe it was Baltimore somewhere. They were kind of up north. What is a recruiting trip like? Because I think people, again, it's funny if you're in the business world and you've never done it, they look at it as glamorous. Oh, you get a hotel, you probably got a nice car, you're driving around, it's a relaxing, you go and you talk to kids. What is a recruiting trip like? Like, because you were even telling, you went to Atlanta.
I could give you my whole story that there was nothing nice about this trip, really. I didn't enjoy the trip. It wasn't that I went out and did this and did that. I mean, I got delayed out of Atlanta with an engine trouble, which I'm not a great flyer. So as soon as they said the left engine won't start, I started shaking. 2 hours later, we get off the ground, so we end up being it's 10 hours on the plane instead of 8. Straight in, driving through Paris, like I said. Crazy arrival, crazy drive, into the hotel, get to sleep. Next day, I get up and I have to drive 3 hours north to a small town in France to watch his kid play. Turn around, he doesn't come on until the 55th minute, which wasn't expected, which wasn't great. Turn around, come back 3 hours, got back to Paris at 1:30 in the morning. And then the next day, I had to watch a kid play on Saturday morning, and then I fly out. I literally did. I think Saturday evening, I watched the US game with tons of Dutch people around me, which was awful.
The bloody
And then
Dutch.
I grabbed some dinner at a little restaurant. I went back to the hotel, went to bed, and I was up at 4 a.m. to go to the airport. So it's not glamorous.
Mm-mm.
It's hard work, recruiting. Recruiting's really hard work, I think.
Do you enjoy it? I mean, do you?
I do.
Because like Lamont said that that's his chance to compete one-on-one. He says, when he did his introductory press conference, he said, I can't get out and play basketball anymore. I can't sub myself in and play. This is my opportunity to go and compete one-on-one. Do you view it that way, or how
Absolutely.
do you?
I'm going to fight with whoever wants to fight with me. That's my chance. It's like, I'm going for this kid, so are you. Who wins? That is a bit of a competition. It's hard work. It's not easy. Especially the kids have tons of options. You've got a little bit of NIL thrown in here now and different rules and stuff, but that is a competitive ground. It's uber competitive. Like this kid that I went to watch, there'll be probably 10 to 15 top 50 schools on him because he's very good.
Mm-hmm.
And now who gets him, right? How do we get him? How do you sell your program? How do you sell yourself? How do you sell what you're going to do for him? All this is part of the big plan. That's the competition. And yeah, I enjoy it. It's hard. It's nonstop. Recruitment is just continuous all year round. Some head coaches don't get involved. And I've heard some recruits say, I didn't talk to the head coach until it was time to talk money. That's not my way. It's not my philosophy. It's not how I think you should recruit, but that's to each their own how they want to do it. Some guys just let their assistants go. If you trust your assistants completely 100% to bring in the best players and you don't have to see them, then that's up to you.
And let's clarify, not that I'm making a joke, but your soccer is similar to baseball in that you have a set number of scholarships.
Correct.
And then a bigger. So when you say money, people go, they probably think NIL, but what you're meaning is certain players are going to get more money in that scholarship as opposed to other players. Similar to baseball.
Yeah. Like, do I have to offer them everything? Where Clemson may only offer them 50% and get them because of where they're at right now. Now, do I have to offer the whole boat and some NIL if I can find it? But I can't offer him NIL until he gets into school anyway. So, per the rules of NCAA.
Right.
So it's competitive. And I can see where Lamont says that's where his juices gets going. So I would say, it is a competition and it's a tiring one, but it's got to be done if you want to be successful.
803-404-6100. Let's see, who is this? Anonymous texter weighs in and says, I'm curious. What does Tony think is more frustrating? Driving in Paris at rush hour or having someone cut in the elementary school pickup line?
I told that story a while ago, didn't I, about being cut in front of? Oh,
Did
no,
he tell
you know
that
what?
one?
Hold on. So I know who this person is. You think you're anonymous, but I think I know who you are. Frustration, definitely getting cut in front of in the elementary school line by a lady in it because a friend let her in front of her. I was like, that drives me insane.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
If you want to get under my skin, that's the way.
That's the best way. Just go get in front of him. Get in front of him at the
sitting there for 20 minutes, and then someone rolls up and just pulls in front of you.
Well, okay, so that's kind of like construction traffic. When you're in line and you're good, you get over because it says merge right, and then you have these Hanyaks who decide to fly up. When you're right at the merge line.
I've been those people, I'm sure.
Have you? Okay, yeah, I'd have to take you out.
In Europe, especially in Germany, when there's a merge, there's an unwritten rule that's 1-for-1. So it goes really quickly. And people obey the rule. It's like, it's not a written rule. It's not a traffic rule. It's like, if I let you, the next one's in, the next one's in, the next one's in. And they take turns. which is great. But anywhere else in the world, it's just like,
It's a free for all.
I'm not even looking at you. I know you're there. I know you're there. But
Yeah,
I'm
I've
just
pulled that move several times.
I'm going to
like,
sing. I'm going to pretend I'm not even seeing you.
you look to the left. You just start looking like, yeah, it might be a
Looking
deer
at
over
your coins in your holder. Yeah, something down there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm the one who actually gets over in the lane, so you have to drive off the road to get around me if you want to get to the front.
Absolute rage. That'd be rage for me. That would be completely raged.
Let's get to one more question real quick. Recruiting question. Matt asks, how many videos do you get a week or a month for players wanting to play? How many send you videos that maybe come in the mail?
Great question. Probably, I would say 40 to 50 a month from agencies, because there's recruiting agencies, they send you them. Then there's the individuals who just go straight up and send them and find your email. Our men's soccer account gets about, I would say, at least 40 or 50 a week. I get about 40 or 50 a month myself.
Is there anything that impresses you? Is it more impressive if you have, or does it make a difference whether it comes from an agency or an individual kid?
There isn't a big difference for me.
Okay.
I mean, I pretty much read them all and look at them all, as many as I can. We kind of split it up between the offers. But again, you've got individuals who think they're way ahead of where they are. As soon as you look at the video, you go, okay, that's not for me.
Okay.
And you kind of sift through it that way.
Okay.
But I don't think you should ignore them because there's a diamond in the rough somewhere. But it is, again, it's continuous all year round. Now, the end of the season starts to get crazy emails.
803-404-6100. We'll get to a few more questions on here when we come back. We will also talk about a few other things, get back into a little bit of World Cup. And I just, the Ronaldo situation, Cristiano Ronaldo signing in Saudi Arabia. And it's interesting to me because of Live Golf and the money that they're spending. And now you're bringing in the biggest name in soccer to, again, build up, I guess, their league. I want to get your opinion on that as well, because it kind of pertains to Live Golf, too, and what they're trying to do. We'll talk a little bit about that. You're listening to Coach Tony Ann and Bill Gunter. Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Our 15th anniversary celebration on 107.5 The Game
is sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, getting you better sooner.
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game and the new 107.5 The Game app. 107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
Things still really slow on I-77 southbound because there is an accident at Shop Road and another one at Bluff Road. So pack your patience. The one actually at Shop Road has been cleared, but a little residual traffic could still be slowing things down, but still showing that Bluff Road has an accident. They're still working. East Steel Road at Platte Springs Road, Carver's Deer incident. Fontaine Road at 277, an accident there. Highway 378 at I-77 also have a report of an accident. Fog is starting to lift a little bit. 72 will be our high. 71 tomorrow. 65 with a couple showers on Friday. 55 right now at 107.5 The Game.
This is Boomer Science with the CBS Sports Minute. Today's birthday shout-out goes to Pete Alonso. The Mets' 28-year-old All-Star hit 40 home runs and led the majors with 131 RBIs last season. On Game Time, the Polar Bear told me that at the University of Florida, he received a C on a paper explaining how he planned to play big league baseball. Too unrealistic, wrote his professor. I would say he should have gotten an A, not an A+. Boomer Esiason.
Buying a home? Rocket Mortgage will cover 1% of your rate for the first year at no cost to you, saving you hundreds, even thousands with Inflation Buster. For example, if you lock a 7% rate today, you'll only pay 6% for a year. That means more road trips, more date nights, more front row seats every month for a year. And your rate is secured for 30 years. Plus, if rates drop within 3 years of your home purchase, you get exclusive savings when you refinance with Rate Drop Advantage. More home upgrades, more rainy day funds, more cash in your pocket. Save when you buy today and refinance tomorrow. Call 833-7ROCKET today or visit inflationbuster.com to start saving. That's 833-7ROCKET or go to inflationbuster.com.
For fees covered rate like date requirements and other terms and conditions, visit inflationbuster.com. Call 1-833-7ROCKET, equal housing lender, license in all 50 states, NMLS Consumer Access.org, number 3030.
sponsored by the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program. At the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program, they cover more federal employees, retirees, and their families than any other health plan. Now it's time to see what they can do for you. Learn more about healthy benefits at fepblue.org/wecan.
The demand for your used car is at an all-time high, and it's never been worth more. Herndon Chevrolet needs your trade. We'll buy your car, even if you don't buy ours. And to prove it, we're willing to beat any written offer by $500. That's right, we'll beat any written offer by $500. Visit Herndon Chevrolet today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Smile. 803-630-5929 for more details.
One more stop. Where's the sleigh? Rudolph!
Hey, Santa.
Rudolph, where's the sleigh?
Oh, that. Well, here's the thing. Schroeder's Towing took it. You see, Santa, the glow from my
That would not
very
surprise
shiny
me, right?
nose got in my eyes, and I didn't see the no parking sign.
Oh, Rudolph, what are we gonna do with you?
Oh, Santa, I don't know.
Schroeder's offers free signage to deter unwanted parking. Call Schroeder's at 772-7930 or visit schroederstowing.com.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
Gamecock Nation, year 2 of the Shane Beamer era is here, and GamecockCentral.com wants to be your source for in-depth coverage and insider information. Come join our exclusive community of South Carolina fans today at GamecockCentral.com.
With COVID-19 still present in our community, the South Carolina Department on Aging hopes you and your loved ones stay safe during this time. We encourage older adults, family caregivers, and adults living with disabilities to learn more about how the COVID-19 vaccine can help protect against severe illness or death. For more information on how to keep you and your family safe, call the national hotline at 1-800-232-0233. That's 800-232-0233.
Up at the dealership, people pause. Out comes good old trade-in clause. The perfect time of year to upgrade your ride. Trade in your car while the values are high.
Ho, ho, ho. Bring your old sleigh to Galliana Kia on Greystone, because we'll take any trade, regardless of condition. Are you stuck in a loan or lease? We'll get you released, even if you're over mileage, have months left, or still owe thousands. And if you're currently leasing a Kia, we'll give you up to $1,000 cash to turn it in early. You can buy a new Kia with zip, zero, zilch, nothing down, and zero payments for the next 3 months. If you got a job and make at least $2,000 per month, Galliana Kia has lenders that can get you approved. 'Tis the Kia season of giving back sales event.
Gotta go to Galliana.
Galliana Kia on Greystone, I-126 Zoo Exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or KiaColumbia.com. Real stock number 3K1107. 0 down, $279 per month for 84 months at 6.9 APR. Price plus tax tag includes $225 closing fee. Negative trade equity financed in new loan subject to lender approval. Expires January 3rd.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The Early Game
With Bill Gunter and Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
The Early Game, 107.5.
The Game.
Eight zero 803-404-6100. That's how you can be a part of the program this morning. Cristiano Ronaldo. Maybe worldwide. Sometimes we get kind of caught up in America and we say LeBron James or Tom Brady, but worldwide, Cristiano Ronaldo over the last 5-6 years, probably the biggest worldwide sports name. Yes?
Him and Lionel Messi.
Okay, Messi.
They've gone back and forth of who's the greatest, but easily the two greatest players in the last 20 years.
Okay. So it looks like you've got them taking different paths at the very end of their career. Messi coming to Inter Miami.
Allegedly.
I'm kind of buying it. I think you're not.
He also said he would like to stay in Europe for one more year.
Well, I'm not saying that he's going to do it next year. It just feels like
he'll probably do it eventually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It feels like that's going to be his send off into whatever is that'll be his final few years of soccer, because look, it'll help the MLS. I mean,
absolutely,
it'll help. So I guess that's my point, is that at some point, whether it's next year, 2 years away, and then you've got Cristiano Ronaldo, who you were just talking about, off air, we were saying, he says he wants to go to the Champions League, stay in the Premier League, but he is signing for a whole bunch of money to go to the Saudi league, which I'm not familiar with at all. And this is really, yeah, what it is it's a cash grab. And as you were saying off air, it's the end of his career. Like he will, I guess, disappear into the dark.
I think so. I think this could be the end of it if he goes there. Most big stars that go to the Indian league or the Asian leagues at the end of their career, that's they do a year and then it's like, you know what, I'm kind of done with this. So I feel, he's tainting his legacy. I think he's behaving like a spoiled child on the pitch, which is crazy. Like he walked off yesterday without really applauding the fans, and he's the captain of the team.
Mm-hmm.
You wear the captain's armband, through thick and thin, you should be the face of the team, and he's acting pretty petulantly, and it's a shame. It really is, because he is a fantastic player. He's been a fantastic player. But yeah, he's getting nearly 200 million for 1 year in Saudi, and where do you go from there? But the thing is, not many teams have come in for him either. Like, he's been a free agent for a week or two, and allegedly nobody has really poked their head in and said, well, we'll have a look, but no one's got that kind of money.
Could you see him, the ego and everything? Again, the money would not be the same, but coming to the MLS to...
I think that could be the last place he would land. I was surprised he didn't look at it, given that he's going to Saudi, but obviously when you're getting that much money, it's tax-free, and,
right.
Not that he needs the money. I think the guy's the first soccer billionaire. He's very close if he's not there. But he doesn't need the money, so I don't know, why he wouldn't look at the MLS, but 175 million to maybe 5 or 6 million a year is a big difference, right?
No, if you take it for 1 year, and then
he may end up here next year. After a year in Saudi, he may go, you know what, I'll try America, and that'll be me.
Well, I don't. The money would be irrelevant, I think, for him. It's the fame. If you could go, I don't know what market. If he goes to L.A. like Beckham did, and the other guy, actually he wasn't a kid, but Ibra, the guy that I really
Ibrahimovic.
Thank you. Yeah. I liked him because he came over still relatively in the prime of his career, but I really liked him because, man, that dude basically came over and said, I'm the best player in the league. And
he still says that, yeah.
And not only that, he then kind of backed it up and
absolutely
did some things.
Look, if Ronaldo came to the States, it would be huge for the league. Mm-hmm. He would only go to New York, Miami, or LA, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt anybody else would get him. Because that's his profile, right? And he could do some really good stuff for the league if he behaved himself and put it forward like Beckham did. Beckham built the league and took the league from A to B.
Right.
It was, or B to A, sorry. He really helped the league. And then there's been players behind him who've really helped the league as well. And I think Ronaldo could help the league. But again, it's so much more about him than anything else. Then, do we really want him in the league? I don't know.
That'll be kind of interesting. Let's do this real quick. I forgot we were going to do it at the beginning. Let's give away a pair of tickets to the women's basketball game on Sunday against Liberty. We'll take caller number 4 right now. 803-404-6100 is how you can win a pair of tickets to the women's basketball game. 803-404-6100 Sunday against Liberty. Call right now. Jen will take caller number 4, and we'll give you a pair of tickets to the women's basketball game against Liberty on Sunday. Again, caller number 4 right now. 803-404-6100. Let's get to a couple more of these here. I did like this one. Going back to what we talked about last week. We talked about you designing set pieces. And Tony weighs in here on, not you, this is actually different, Tony, weighing in here and asking you to describe the set pieces a little bit more. He says, do you run picks for players? Do you run guys in from the top of the box? Do you run them in from the side? Describe a set piece and how a play is drawn up?
Good question. There's short corners where you try and drag the players out of the box to then serve a ball in so they're down numbers. There's picks all the time, like you're running off the front post who stands on the penalty spot and blocks like a basketball shot and tries to get somebody free. And then there's, you crowd the keeper. We do that one where you crowd the keeper and you put a ball into a dangerous area, and literally, if it's a good ball, you're hoping it gets a touch.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's obviously the tricks, the decoys, right? You cause a distraction somewhere else and you go somewhere else with the ball. Korea, Japan, this year in the World Cup done some fantastic ones. I really like theirs. They've done really well with their set pieces because they needed to. But again, it's a huge part of the game. So you can get over creative as well, right? You can do too much where it just doesn't work, or it's too much movements, too many things to remember. But simpler is better. But yeah, you have to practice and you have to get them right.
How much do you take away from watching a World Cup match? Like when I coached AAU basketball, I coached high school, I'd watch a game, and that was I think it was right at about the time DVR was coming into play, so I'd be able to rewind and watch a play if there was a lot that I actually picked up from Kansas at one point. But how much do you watch and then say, I want to implement that into what we try to do next year?
I don't think it's taking stuff like if you watch Arsenal, Jay Phillips will be happy about that.
Yeah.
One. If you watch Arsenal, if you watch City, if you watch Liverpool, there are things they do and you go, oh, that's pretty effective. That's really good stuff. And you adopt it to your philosophy, but you can't change your philosophy on how you want to play just because, Dortmund play a certain way or Arsenal are playing a certain way. That's their philosophy. And I don't think it's good to copy philosophies every 2 years when people change things. Otherwise, you never really have your own philosophy. So, yeah, I mean, I watch the game. The hardest part for me is I watch the game as a coach now. Like when I was younger, I used to watch it as a fan, but now I pick it apart and it's kind of annoying at times. I just want to watch it and enjoy it and be in the moment. But I'm kind of picking things apart and I'm looking at how did he move there?
When do you notice halfway through? Like, is there a moment that
for the first minute,
like you rewind it and you're like, oh wait, they should, and then you go, oh, I'm watching the game like a coach again and not enjoying it.
I very rarely rewind the game.
Really?
I'll watch it again,
but
I'll very rarely stop it and rewind it, and I kind of just let it go. But constantly, I'm thinking, oh, look at the way he's doing that with the formation. Look at the way he's doing that. If he would roll out, if this guy would roll out there, like against States versus Netherlands. They man-marked Tyler Adams in the middle of the park, so they couldn't get into 6. Why not roll him out wide and bring Musa back in? And I'm sitting there going, constant. Greg's obviously on the sideline. It's hard as a coach to do it there, but you're constantly thinking of why didn't do that? Why? Oh, that's great. And it kind of gets annoying at times because there's so much traffic in your head when you're watching it. But that's what you do, right? But I watch football all the time. I non-stop watch games. I'll even watch the Saudi League now.
Well, we got to find out what channel, what they're going to be on. I guess it'll be a soccer match, and then you'll get to watch Live Golf. I'm assuming it'll all be on the same channel. 803-404-6100. We'll get back into some other sports-related items as well with Coach Annan. You're listening to The Early Game on 107.5 The Game.
The OGs of 107.5 The Game.
Jay Phillips, Heath Klein, and Tommy Moody.
Sharing their memories of 107.5 The Game and celebrating our 15th anniversary.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
Just download the 107.5 The Game app or go to 107.5thegame.com to check out the podcast.
On your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game and the new 107.5 The Game app.
Oh, talking about getting out and kicking the soccer ball around, or maybe you're gearing up for the Gator Bowl and playing a little football of your own in the backyard, whatever it may be. If you've been suffering through joint pain, if you've had issues with your ankles, your knees, your hips, it's time to contact QC Kinetics and get a free consultation. 803-281-6860. Make 2023 the year you say goodbye to joint pain. The future of joint pain management and appointments are available right now with QC Kinetics. Give them a phone call, 803-281-6860. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. Their unique protocols use healing agents from your own body to target aching joints. I'm telling you what, it's cutting edge, incredible stuff you can take advantage of today. Get your appointment lined up. Get a free consultation, 803-281-6860. Again, that's 803-281-6860. Don't let 2023 slow you down because of joint pain. Take care of it today with QC Kinetics. 803-281-6860.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
I-26 eastbound between Piney Grove Road and St. Andrews Road. We have an accident there that's definitely impacting traffic flow. In Lexington, an accident Pilgrim Church Road at North Lake Drive. Highway 378 at I-77, also a report of an accident. And the earlier tie-ups on I-77 southbound have been cleared. It just may be taking a little bit to get things back to normal. Your forecast for today, we're looking for this clouds. Well, okay, well, we'll say, how about the fog? We're looking for the fog anyway to finish burning off. And then it's going to be a decent day. 72 for your high, 71 tomorrow, 65 with some showers on Friday. Right now, still some fog, and 56 at 107.5 the game.
Travis Benson, owner of CNT Foundations.
With the economy like it is today, you may feel like your world is crumbling. And if your home has a foundation problem, it might be. At CNT Foundations, we can help. We offer no-interest financing for up to 2 years for qualified homeowners. That's 2 years, same as cash. Prepare your home now and pay later.
Call 803-805-8044. CNT Foundations, your foundation experts.
Plus tax and title with approved credit. Call 866-243-4623 for details. This holiday season, buy any new Jeep, Ram, or Dodge at JT's Jeep Ram and pay off your credit cards up to $10,000. That's right. Buy any new Jeep, Ram, or Dodge at JT's Jeep Ram and pay off your credit cards up to $10,000. Savings? How about $10,000 off a brand new Ram? Credit concerns? It's Christmas. JT is saying yes. Rush to JT's Jeep Dodge Ram. 378 Lexington. JT'sJeepRam.com. Big Finish sales event.
Life doesn't stop when the economy is uncertain. The market might not care you have a wedding to plan or a kid to put through school. And inflation doesn't know you've got a family to feed. But Bank of America does, and is here to help. With digital tools to help you save and local experts in Colombia, you can keep life moving forward the way you need it to. Bank of America, what would you like the power to do? Learn more at BofA.com/Colombia. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Hi, Scott here from Traditions with good news for you early Christmas shoppers, because we've got some amazing deals on beautiful diamond jewelry. Like 1/2 carat total weight studs for just $3.99. 1 carat total weight studs just $9.99. And how about diamond solitaire rings? 1 carat starting at just $14.99 and 2 carats just $39.99. And remember, we're not just jewelers, we're also sports fans. And with all that's been going on with these amazing Gamecocks, you'll be happy to know that we have over $1 million worth of collegiate apparel in stock. So if this is the year that some folks on your Christmas list need Gamecock gear, you got to come see us. You will not believe the selection, and everybody knows we've got the best prices. Can't visit one of our stores? No problem. Just visit our website at GamecockTraditions.com. Only at Traditions on Sunset in Lexington and at the Fountain at Sandhills, where the Midlands get engaged.
Ho, ho, ho. Hey, I'm Jenny Sturm. I'm with Sturmy Plumbing. Call my dad if you have any slow drains, clogged drains, leaky pipes, runny toilets, runny sinks, or no hot water. Call Sturmy Plumbing for all of your service and repair needs. 803-201-2689. At Sturmy Plumbing, where we make your gray skies blue.
Hey, this is Brian with Stormy Plumbing. Give us a call at 803-201-2689. Again, the number is 803-201-2689. We look forward to hearing from you.
Attention. Did you or a loved one live at or near Marine Base Camp Lejeune in North Carolina between 1953 and 1987? If so, listen closely for this important legal announcement. From 1953 to 1987, Marines and their family members at Camp Lejeune drank water that was contaminated with hazardous toxins. The toxins found in the water at Camp Lejeune may cause health issues, especially later in life. Types of health issues associated with water at Camp Lejeune are numerous. If you or a loved one lived near Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation without going to court. Even if you were turned down in the past, a new law can allow you to file a claim today. If you or a loved one spent time near Camp Lejeune, call the Negligence Network to find out if you're eligible for financial compensation. There's no fee unless we win your case. Call 1-800-700-4333. That's 1-800-700-4333. 1-800-700-4333.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
(803-404-6100) if you want to text in a question on our Firehouse Subs text line to Coach Annan. We get this one from anonymous texter. He says, Coach, How does one go about purchasing tickets for matches in England, trying to see the Hotspurs play next year? So, yeah, if somebody was going over there and I asked you, Ticketmaster, or but you say there's an easier way?
I think you can go straight to the websites of the clubs. They sell tickets from there. But there's obviously a limited amount because they have season tickets. And if it's a club like Spurs that get great crowds, they're not always easy to get. But you can go on Ticketmaster, StubHub. I think they sell Premier League tickets. But then there's tout websites. There's touts outside the ground that you could probably grab a ticket or two off. So multiple ways, or know somebody who plays for Spurs, and
usually helps. Yeah,
that's how I usually do it.
What? Real quick on the Premier League, this is unique in that there's been it's going to be a 2-month layoff. Am I thinking right? November to right after Christmas, a 2-month layoff. Never done this in the Premier League to have a layoff like this. It's happened you've seen a couple week layoff in hockey, in the NHL, where they go play in the Olympics. How do you think it impacts teams coming back when you break in this manner and you go from playing basically 1-2 matches a week and training to now basically 2 months off, and then you come back and you got to get back into your mindset of your team and not your country? How do you think this affects the Premier League when we come back here in about 3 weeks, I think?
December 28th or 26th.
Today's the 7th, so that's what I'm saying. It's less than 3 weeks about.
I think it'll be interesting. European countries, especially Germany does, they have a winter break. So they break right before Christmas, they come back right after New Year, and they have a winter break built in already. So they are used to it. With the Premier League, it's never been a break, obviously, until May. It'll be interesting to see how teams' form comes back. A team that, like, let's take Arsenal, for instance. I'll just keep bringing Arsenal up because Jay.
Yeah, somebody else, by the way, Elwood said too much Arsenal talk. Want to hear more about?
Yeah, I'm going to say Arsenal again because I'm impressed with them this season. But Newcastle there you go. They were on a flyer before the World Cup started. I mean, luckily we only have 1 or 2 guys, well, 3 guys, I think, in the squads. Some teams have 4 or 5 guys in squads. It'll be interesting to see how it's affected it, and will they be able to recapture the form they were in? Because winning is a habit, right? Winning is routine, and it starts to build the momentum, and then just to stop it instantly for 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks, and then go back to it. I think it's going to be really interesting to see the Premier League, some of the results early on in those games.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because if you don't follow it, it's been a little less than 2-month break there. Obviously, as teams have sent their players off to play in the World Cup. 803-404-6100. A recruiting question for you from Derek. He sends in this morning. He says, when you recruit Europe, where exactly do you recruit your players? High school or academy leagues? He said he'd be interested to know when you go over there. And it's a good question. I think I asked you off air last week. I have no clue the school structure in Europe. I do know this, that they have the academies that kids, there was a great article on The Athletic a while back about kids who basically left school at like 10 years old just to go be in a soccer academy, and then they get to 19 or 20 and they're not going to make it onto the academy's premier team that they've been playing for, and they have to figure out what they're doing.
That was me.
Okay.
I left high school at 16, just turned 16. And by 19, I was like, well, you're not going to make it as a full professional, you're not going to get another contract. And, what do I do now? And it goes on a lot. And there's some mental health stuff attached to it now and everything. But to answer the question, we usually are recruiting for younger guys that are in the pro leagues that aren't signed a professional contract, that are on amateur contracts, or a kid that's in a professional academy, like let's say Red Bull Salzburg has a really good academy. You go there and you say, okay, which guy's not going to make it to a full professional contract, and is he interested in coming to the States, do education? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how you find them. But that's why there's so many agencies that sort of put all these players together for you, and then you go watch a showcase. Or what I did, I found an individual through a contact, and I went over to watch the individual play in what's called National League 2 in France. So it's like a semi-pro league, and a lot of guys, that are not full professionals play in those leagues. So we don't usually do high schools.
803-404-6100. This comes in here from another anonymous texter. Says, Coach, West Ham fan here. What would it take for them to get on the level of the Big Six in England? Seems like the gap between the Big Six and other England clubs will never close.
Money. That's what it takes. I mean, if you look at the top 6 or top 7, 8, that's the richest clubs are up there. Yes, you get the anomaly where somebody has a good season and they have a good run at it, but Spurs don't spend a lot of money. Oh, well, they do, but they claim they don't. But they're up there. But most of it is money driven. The bigger clubs with the money buy the better players, and they're the better teams. I mean, I love West Ham to be high. I love West Ham. I've got a soft spot for West Ham, but they have spent a lot of money, to be fair, and they should be doing a bit better than they are. But at the end of the day, it comes down to usually the richest clubs are the ones that are most successful.
803-404-6100. When we come back, we'll give you a chance to win tickets to Sunday's South Carolina men's game against Presbyterian. We'll do that on the other side of the break. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up
on the next Extra Point.
Do you want to hear the last couple of names that have popped up on the text line here?
Bring them.
Mike Shanahan, Jeff Scott, Joe Brady, Dan Mullen, and Kevin Sumlin. Those are the last 6 names we've got.
Those are very interesting. Firehouse Subs text line.
Yep.
Well, we can go ahead and eliminate Jeff Scott off the top. That's not happening.
I agree.
Can all of those names be pretty comfortably eliminated?
Kevin Sumlin, I remember hearing at some point that he didn't know. No, I'm not saying Kevin Sumlin. But
The Extra Point.
With Pearson, Preston, and Gamecock Central.
9 a.m. to noon.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5. The Game.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass. A true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
Still working a few accidents. Highway 378 at I-77 in Lexington, Pilgrim Church Road at North Lake Drive. Earlier accidents on I-77 southbound have been cleared. The traffic should be getting back to normal along there. I-26 eastbound between Piney Grove Road and St. Andrews Road, still an issue as well. And East Steel Road at Plant Springs Road, cleaning up that car versus deer incident. And we're looking for a high today of about 71. And that should be nice. And of course, we're going to have to get that fog to burn off first, but it's getting there. 71 for your high tomorrow, 65 with some showers on Friday. It's 56 right now. 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Audible. This holiday, check out Origins, a brand new Audible original podcast featuring music and storytelling from groundbreaking musicians like Billie Eilish, Camilo, Doja Cat, and more, sharing their experiences in a way you've never heard. Discover Origins, the immersive new series at audible.com/origins.
Ho, ho! Now, Dasher! Now, Prancer and Vixen! Where's Prancer and Vixen? How am I supposed to get all these gifts delivered without a full crew?
Santa, you know you could just call Schroeder's Towing, the best hookers in town. They haul everything, cars, semis, heavy equipment, even sleighs.
Schroeder's Towing! Of course! The company at the top of my nice list this holiday season.
Count on the best hookers in town, Schroeder's Towing, to make sure you get all your heavy equipment where they need to go in record time. Online at Schroeder'sTowingSC.com.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
Some holiday parties are kinda... But with reimagined catering from Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers, your party can be... From munchies and dips to pizzas, sandwiches, salads, boxed lunches, party trays, and desserts, our full-service catering menu is sure to create the holiday karma your party deserves. So don't stress out, cater in, and mellow out with the Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers in the Vista and on Sunset in Lexington.
Hey, if you've got a hole in your roof or you need a whole new roof, you need to call Mid-State Roofing, 356-1919. For nearly a quarter of a century, Mid-State Roofing has established its reputation as the leader in the roofing industry. Whether it's above your head or at your feet, perhaps a leaky foundation, 356-1919 is the number to call for all your roofing and waterproofing needs. The quality and craftsmanship of a Mid-State roofing system are tops in the industry, especially commercial and industrial roofing systems. If you own or you're in charge of a large building, warehouse, or industrial facility, then you're in charge of that roof. And at some point, a roof is going to need some attention. So the number to call for advice, service, results, and a commitment to customer satisfaction is 356-1919. See all that Midstate has to offer when you click on midstateroofing.com. Tell them, Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
356-1919, midstateroofing.com.
Jay Phillips here for my good friends at Dan's Fan City in Harbison. Ceiling fans don't sound like something you think about a lot because you don't really need to, but when you've got them, they work well, keeping energy costs down and your comfort level up. John at Dan's Fan City wants to remind you to make your ceiling fan move in reverse this time of year to keep the heat off the ceiling. See John for any questions and for all of your ceiling fan needs. Go to Dan's Fan City in Harbison or call them at 781-FANS. You'll be glad you did.
When you can't stop, there's Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub sends powerful medicated Vicks vapors right to the source of your so you can experience cough relief and breathe easier. Generations of families have trusted Vicks VapoRub to help relieve the worst cold symptoms. So next time you have a cough, reach for the Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub. Cough relieving is believing.
Here's to Prilosec OTC. Without Prilosec, I wouldn't be able to enjoy all this yummy holiday food. Speaking of, whoever made that apple pie, delicious. I just take one pill each morning and zero heartburn all day. So cheers to Prilosec OTC. Ooh, are those jalapeno poppers?
Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid that can cause heartburn, so you can enjoy the holidays. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
With Bill Gunter and Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks. The early game.
107.5 The Game.
Right now, caller number 5, 803-404-6100 will give you a pair of tickets to see the South Carolina men's basketball team Sunday against Presbyterian. 6 o'clock is game time for that. So if you want to go to Colonial Life Arena, caller number 5 right now, 803-404-6100. A pair of tickets to Sunday's South Carolina Presbyterian basketball game, 6 o'clock start time for that. Go ahead and give us a call right now. Jen will take caller number 5. Been hanging out with head men's soccer coach Tony Anna. We were just talking about the spring for your club. We'll talk a little World Cup here, but also you mentioned the spring, and I don't know what exactly you can say. I'm kind of throwing this at you on the fly, but explain now what goes on for you, because we were talking, this is not your dead period. Obviously, you just came back from France. We were talking about that horror story of driving and everything. But recruiting season is in play for you and planning for the spring. You said you get winter, spring. You start January 10th. Yep. What is it you guys do that prepares you? Yep.
So we train full time basically in the spring. We train every day. We're allowed. It's called an 8-hour segment where you can only have them for 8 hours a week.
Right.
Up until February, and then we start to go 20 hours, and we can do a lot more. And then we play 5 competitive games. So we've got 5 games scheduled between February and April. And then once final exams hit in April, we are done for the year. And the guys go home and come back in July for preseason.
And those matches that you will have, some of them at Stone Stadium, and people will be able to come, and they'll be free to the public to come out and watch the team. And
we play Charlotte MLS team first, and then we go to Charleston Battery. And then we have UNC Asheville, ETSU, and North Florida. North Florida's away, but those are the home games.
So a lot of fun coming up there for your club. And again, you'll start, today is the 7th, so a little less than a month. And I forget, you mentioned, I think you've got 1 player enrolling. Two.
Yeah.
Are you able to talk about those? I don't know.
Yeah, they've been announced.
Okay.
So Mika Abel is the German kid from Munich.
Okay.
He's coming in. He arrived January the 5th. And then Kasper Hlem, who is a transfer from Elon, who's a Danish kid. Both very good players, both exceptional talents that I think will really help the squad.
And where will they fit in? You mentioned
because a midfielder is a central midfielder, and Kasper is a left back.
Okay,
which we didn't really have a left-footed left back this year, so that's a big add.
what do you want to see from your team? What do you kind of ask for them for this month before, in terms of training, in terms of workouts? I'm guessing, I think it's exam week, I believe, over there.
It is, yeah. Exams started this week, so we're kind of hands off. We have been hands off for the last 2 weeks, but there's been optional gym sessions which have been well attended. Apparently, I'm not supposed to know, obviously, but when I walk past the gym, there's a lot of guys in there. And they have all individualized personal plans for the winter from Danny. He's done an individual sort of what do you need. So they've all got a 4 or 5 week plan that they're going to carry on at home, hopefully. We can't hold them. They don't report it. It's just, this is what we want you to do. And hopefully they go do it.
That's kind of like what Shane does when most of the kids go home in May. They get a month off. You say, hey, we prefer you be doing this and not sitting on the couch watching bowl games and eating snacks. Real quick, quarterfinals will get going on Friday in the World Cup. You got today and tomorrow off, Wednesday, Thursday, and everything will pick back up at 10 a.m. with Croatia and Brazil. You also have Netherlands and Argentina, which should be a great one. As we go into the quarters here, who do you like? I mean, what are you seeing as you see these? Your pick was Argentina. They lost that first one to Saudi Arabia, but they've been fine since, and they've rolled through, knocked off Australia 2-1. You sticking with them, or has Brazil caught your attention? Portugal yesterday, 6-1.
You do realize England is still in the competition, right?
Okay. Do you like England to win it? Yeah, no.
I'm from England, yeah.
England, France. I mean, do you like them? You picked Argentina, though.
I know. I picked Argentina to win it because I didn't have
know who you're
belief in my home country.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, I wanted Argentina to win it so that Messi won the World Cup before he was finished. That's
gotcha. Okay.
It's a nostalgic thing for me. But, yeah, I'd love to see England get through. I mean, I think Croatia are a joy to watch. Brazil are a joy to watch. I mean, some of the goals they scored the other day were unbelievable football, and the flair that they have is great. It's great for the game. I think Brazil will probably edge Croatia. That's the matchup, right?
Yep.
France have England, and that's a really tough one for England. But if England play really well, I think they could. Portugal have
Morocco.
No, that was yesterday.
No, Morocco beat Spain.
Oh, that's right. It's Portugal, Morocco, yeah. So that's going to be a really tough game. Morocco defend with their hearts on the sleeves, and, you know, Portugal are a fantastic team as well. So I'm going to say, I think Morocco might pull that off.
Wow.
I don't know why. I just got this feeling about Morocco.
Okay. Then that match will be Saturday morning, 10 a.m. England and France. Maybe a watch party somewhere with Coach Annan, 2 o'clock on Saturday. We'll see if we can do that.
Let's do that.
There you go. Jen and I are out the next 2 days. We're going to take a vacation. I'm heading
together.
Not
together.
I might
Not
take
together.
We might take a nice little vacation together to the North Pole.
Okay, I could do that.
You could be Miss Claus. You could fill in and bake some cookies.
that might
and
hurt a little bit.
They might need a little bit of yard work done up there. Who knows? I'll check in with the big guy and let you know.
Appreciate
Coach,
it.
thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
We'll see you next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Okay.
We'll see y'all Monday.
Radio 107.5 The Game, WNKT FM.
All right, everybody. Y'all have a good day. We will see you Monday. No live stream. I mean, y'all can create your own live stream and go have fun, but we will see everybody Monday. Y'all take care.
Should be fun.